Am I live? Is this shit on? Is this shit on and fucking working? Let's see, is this motherfucker on? Can you hear me? The foot. Like, shut down. I don't be using this shit. It's been so long since I used this fucking shit. You don't even know if y'all can hear me. Let me see. I don't expect nobody to be the fuck in here. I just want to know if y'all can hear, bitch. Yee. So let's see together. Let me check. Let me check. Check. What the fuck am I offline? The fuck? Hey, Hey, Jayla, can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, just say yeah. No, we looking crazy here. Oh shit. Give me see. I'm like, yeah. Oh, okay, you can hear me. Yeah. Okay, you can hear me. All right. I was just making sure it's been so long since I've been on this bitch. And I figured nobody will fucking be here to listen. It's too early in the goddamn morning. Oh, Lord. Grand Rise, motherfuckers. Grand Rise. Oh, shit. Hey, Choctaw. Hey, peace and blessings. Michael Phillips, how you doing? How y'all feeling? Oh, my gosh. I just came on here to say a couple things with my confused ass. Okay, y'all know I be confused as fuck all the time. So while I've been uh, on these YouTube streets all these fucking years, there's certain things that I learned that really have helped with my life. One, I have learned to keep my fucking mouth shut when the time is needed to keep my mouth shut so I can figure out what the fuck going on. Okay? Another thing I learned to do is have a little bit more patience than I usually have because, yeah, shutting the fuck up leads to patience. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good fucking thing. Um, Third thing I learned was also to have patience with your comments. You know what I'm saying? Have patience with what the fuck you want to say. Cause sometimes we look at things and then you be missing certain things and it be like, oh shit, I ain't even peeped that, son. Yeah, it be like that. Let me give y'all a perfect example of this shit. Fucking Will Smith. Okay? This whole Will Smith, Chris Rock thing. Now, way back in the days, I did a upload about Will Smith, August Alsina, and Jada Pinkett, right? And that's the go-to shit to talk about. Everybody got the go-to shit to talk about. I want to go talk about something else. Did y'all know that the first all-black production team did they thing that night at the Oscars? Did y'all know that? Y'all probably didn't know that until now because now y'all are seeing Will Packer talk, right? Now y'all seeing him talk. So when I said it before, motherfuckers really didn't believe that shit. But now you see Will Packer yakking. So now it's a little bit more believable, right? Cool. Did you know, did y'all know that the award that was supposed to be presented when Will Smith smacked Chris Rock was for the best documentary? Facts, Miss Witt. And did y'all know that Questlove won that shit? Questlove was the director of the motherfucking documentary that won. Y'all didn't know that shit though. Y'all had no fucking clue because y'all was too busy worried about a fucking slap. Did you know that Samuel L. Jackson won his first Oscar that night? Did you know that? Hey, Miss Witt, how you doing, baby? Did y'all know Samuel L. Jackson won his first Oscar that night? And did y'all know that Denzel Washington presented the fucking award for Samuel L. Jackson? No, y'all motherfuckers didn't know that neither. Y'all ain't know that shit neither. Why? Because y'all was too busy worried about Will Smith smacking motherfucking Chris Rock. Okay? And that's the part that fucked up for me. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that I was like, yo, fuck Will Smith for that. Because it was supposed to be a more inclusive night. Y'all wasn't even supposed to know it was black fucking producers doing that shit. Y'all wasn't supposed to know that. And y'all probably wouldn't have known that if everything went off with a hitch. right? If everything went off without a hitch, I should say, y'all would have no clue what the fuck the production team was or none of that shit. Y'all be celebrating Questlove like a motherfucker. It'll be Roots Day for the rest of the fucking week because y'all have known Questlove not only did a documentary, but won that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Y'all would have known that Samuel L. Jackson got I don't even know what Samuel L. Jackson got the Oscar for, but I know that motherfucker got it. Okay? And maybe I would have known what the fuck he got it for if it wasn't for this bullshit with a motherfucker getting smacked. Okay? Word up, Michael Phillips. Fuck all the motherfuckers as far as I'm concerned. Chris Rock too. Fuck him too. All right? Why you say fuck Chris Rock too? Man, just throw that motherfucker in the mix, yo. Throw him in the mix. Fuck it. Fuck it. Throw them all in the motherfucking mix. Okay? Me personally, I don't give a fuck that Chris Rock made a dumbass joke. It was dumb. It wasn't even that funny, yo. And we understood it. It did not have to be about alopecia. Shorty just bald. Would you rather him make a fucking joke about the Dora Milaje? Would that have made her feel fucking better? No, bitch. You look like the fucking Matrix numbers and symbols dripping down on the motherfucking screen. That's what the fuck you really look like. That would have been a diss. And if I really wanted it, Jada Pinkett should have walked up and slapped the nigga. So since y'all wanted that, y'all got that. But I'd rather talk about the Oscars that y'all didn't fucking see. Okay? I'd rather talk about that shit right there. I'm not staying on here long. I ain't got too much to talk about. Because when I got a whole bunch to talk about, I just be learning shit. And then I'll be like, what? Oh, I can't talk about that no more. That shit don't make no sense. That shit don't make no more. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. But what me and the 4 people in the building can talk about is this shit that popped off yesterday, yo. Oh, God. Yo, this shit popped off yesterday. Something crazy, son. That shit was crazy, son. Oh, wait, I got a link. Hold on, Michael Phillips. Let me find a link. We'll find a link at. How I get the link out this motherfucker? All right, hold up. I'm looking for the link. Oh no, that ain't it. Where I get the Michael Phillips? It's been so long since I've been on this bitch. How the fuck I get a link? Oh wait, hold on. Give me C. Oh god damn it. This shit is crazy. I got background music now. Ain't this a bitch? Ooh, I got a countdown video. Child. How the fuck I get it? Wait, what happened? Ain't nothing happened. I'm trying to find a link. I'm trying to get. Oh wait, it says I can invite somebody. Oh wait, I got it. I got the link. And wait, hold on. Let me try to put something in here. Wait a minute. Let me post the comment. Give me see. Wait. Come on now. All right. Boom. Did I get it? Give me some. I got it. I got the shit. I got a fucking link, y'all. Jalea ain't nothing. Oh, Jalea, what happened? Oh, listen, girl, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna try to tell you to the best of my ability because you know I be confused as fuck. Okay, one of the best things that can happen. Wait a minute. Now the question is, if a motherfucker click on the link, how I get your ass up here? I get your ass up here if you click on a motherfucking link. Give me see. Give me see this shit. Okay, wait. Wait, give me see. Okay, wait. Okay, I'm done with that one right there. Ah! Oh shit. Oh well. Anyway. Oh wait, it says guest. Hey, Michael Phillips. Okay, add. There you go. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
What's up?
What up, sister? What's going on?
I'm chilling. I was like, man, let me wake up and start yakking because I didn't think nobody was gonna be up.
Oh, I get up mad early. You heard? So,
Okay.
hey, but listen. You was about to go into something else, but I wanted to address the Will Smith, Chris Rock, all of that. Listen, I you may
Hey,
not
Bobby.
agree. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just saying you may disagree with me on this. Personally, there's no man on the face of this earth that can smack me and walk away like nothing happened. Okay, but Chris Rock is not Chris. I don't know how to say this. Chris Rock did, I think, what he was supposed to do.
Yes, he did.
He was supposed to, conform to what we've been taught and how we are supposed to conduct ourselves and all of this. And Chris Rock conformed to that. So by those measures, Chris Rock basically did what he was supposed to do. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck about conformity or what we supposed to do, how we supposed to conduct ourselves. If a man smacks me, whether it's on a public public platform or if it's behind the scenes or whatever, it's going to be the same reaction every time. You heard? So, but at the end of the day, like I understand that Chris Rock was probably looking at the larger picture and said,
Mm-hmm.
and listen, and me and my wife talked about this when it first happened. My wife was like, yes, Will Smith protected his wife and he whatever he did what he was, what a man is supposed to do. I was like, nah, that's not what he did. Because his first reaction was he laughed when Chris Rock made the joke.
It's a fact.
That was his first reaction. So we don't know what happened after that got caught on camera, but obviously Jada said something to him that compelled him to walk up on that stage. You heard?
Listen,
So
Michael, I'm gonna say this much. I don't give a fuck what the fuck Jada said, what she looked like, all that. He could have did without getting a piece of poom poom for the next 2 weeks. If he laughed, he should have kept that same energy. I'ma say that.
right, but this is what I told my wife. I'm like, listen, if he felt a certain type of way about what Chris Rock did as a professional, if you felt compelled to approach that man or to push up on him or whatever, that shit could have been handled
Don't be
behind the
cutthroat.
scenes. That shit
Now,
could have been handled behind the scenes. It didn't have to be handled on live TV. What the fuck are we
now,
doing out here?
yeah, that's a fact too. Now, let me say this much, Michael Phillips.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to take it back to what you said about Chris Rock. Because
Yes.
at the end of the day, now they got the reason why I'm talking about it now is because before I came live, I was watching like the news that's talking about not Chris Rock, Will Smith resigning, right? And now there's a whole bunch of
Wait.
interviews.
Hold on, because you bringing some news to me.
Uh-huh.
Resigning from what?
He resigned from the Academy.
Wow. Okay. Well, it
Okay.
is what it is.
Right. So he did that. But I'm also watching interviews on the producer, Will Packer, the black producer who, produced the Oscars. And one thing that he is saying, right, and which made me be like, you know what, Chris Rock really did the right motherfucking thing, was that immediately after that shit, the LAPD came straight to his fucking office. During the Oscars, I'm assuming it's during the Oscars. They came straight to his office and said, yo, we could press charges. Just say the
Right.
word.
Right.
We could do all that shit right now. And tell you the truth. Now, Michael, you from New York, and you know that in New
And I was
York
just
they
about to
don't
say
need
that.
no motherfucking permission. If they want to get you, they
Yeah.
don't need
Yeah.
Chris Rock to be like, yo, press charges. Because in New York, they just get that nigga if they want to get him, right?
Hey, Sister
But
C, you from Brooklyn, right?
right.
And Chris Rock is from where?
He's born in Jersey, but he lived in Brooklyn for decades. He
Right.
just left Brooklyn like maybe 8 years ago. He just left Brooklyn. He's
Right.
been in Brooklyn like
So
20 years.
so you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So
Yeah.
this is why Chris Rock did the right thing. Because imagine if Will Smith smacked him and then Chris Rock smacked him back. What the fuck you think the LAPD gonna do? They gonna pick up two A-list niggas, right? They gonna put 2 A-list niggas in jail. They ain't gonna put 2 A-list actors in jail. They gonna be more than happy to put 2 A-list niggas in tuxedos in motherfucking jail and make that shit look like a scene from Trading Places. They don't give a fuck.
You already
You understand
know.
me?
You
They don't give a
already.
holy hot fuck. They'd have put both of them in jail. So Chris Rock at the end of the day did the right thing. Now I agree with you, Michael Phillips. After the fucking Oscars, Will Smith could have did his 1s and 2s, and me as Chris Rock, he'd have smacked me in public. After the show, I'd have beat the bricks out of that nigga. Okay? After the show.
Or I would have had somebody do it for me. Like, if maybe I couldn't get to him, but I would have made sure he got touched. You heard?
Okay, I'm with you. I don't even see nothing wrong with that. But when we looking at it from now that we looking at it, we can sit there and say Chris Rock did a good job. Now, Chris, and at the same time, Michael Phillips, I know that black people don't really go this route, but Jim Carrey made a good fucking point, yo. He ain't got to press no charges, but if that motherfucker feel like suing Will Smith for $200 million, you think it ain't gonna fucking happen? And they don't got to go through Judge Mathis for that motherfucking shit neither.
I'm gonna tell you this. I would sue the brakes off this nigga. You heard?
Okay.
But I'm more concerned about Will Smith's his mental capacity, because it seems like and I know people keep talking about this, about the August Alsina dude. I don't even know who that nigga is. Maybe I'm just too fucking old.
That's some neo soul singer. Yeah, he new school. He's some neo soul motherfucker type rapper, nigga. I never paid attention to his music. He don't want to be Pharrell and all them other motherfuckers that want to be Andre 3000.
But here's my point though. Jada Pinkett has made it her business. I don't know if she's still what was her show called? The Red Couch or the Red something?
The Red Talk Table or some shit like this.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So she made it her business to embarrass her husband every chance she got, right? But my point as a man, if I'm Will Smith, I'm like, yo, I got less energy for Chris Rock. I got more energy for August Alsina. You heard? That just as a man, and as a matter of fact, I've talked.
Okay, go ahead, Mike, because I'm looking at Jalea's comment.
What she said?
She said Will beat August up, and he said it on the internet. So I'm like, what?
Well, if that's true, then salute the Will, because that. But here's my point though, Jalea. If that's true, at the end of the day, you have to hold your spouse accountable. And the fact is, she embarrassed this nigga publicly. It's not like that shit was handled behind the scenes. This shit became public because Jada talked about it publicly. Will talked about it publicly. And I'm saying, as a man, as a married man, if my woman cheated on me, that would pretty much be it for me. But I wouldn't have to go on YouTube and say, yo, this is what happened and I handled it this way. Nah, like that's behind the scenes shit. I don't need to know your personal business. That's just that's what it is. So whether Will did that or not, I haven't heard anything about it. But here's my point: if Will did do what Jalea is saying he did, that should have been public, not what he did with Chris Rock and all of this other weird shit.
Exactly. I was about to say the same. I was about to say the similar shit. Like, if he could beat August Alsina up in private, why he couldn't smack Chris Rock in private? We ain't get to see him beat August Alsina ass, because some of us would have never known that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that don't make it acceptable. Now, I wanted to talk about this comment right here. Tony Rock said he don't accept the apology, and it's on and popping on site. Now, is Tony Rock Chris Rock father, his brother?
That's his brother. That's his brother.
Oh, that's his brother?
Yeah.
Oh, well, his brother
Tony
can
Rock,
say whatever. That don't mean Chris Rock agree. You feel me?
No, Chris Rock also said he didn't accept the apology. But understand.
Oh, okay.
But understand that Tony Rock is also from Brooklyn, and Tony Rock is like the can we say the more brolic side of the brotherhood.
Chris Rock.
Yeah. Like he's a comedian, but he not with the bullshit.
Can I tell y'all a quick story about Chris Rock?
Yeah.
And I believe that Chris Rock left Brooklyn because of gentrification. I truly believe that. And the reason why I tell y'all that is because way back in the day, people used to be able to walk past Chris Rock's house and don't bother that man. He used to be able to walk down Brooklyn streets and nobody, it was a lot of celebrities that lived in Brooklyn on the low, in like Fort Greene and, Bed-Stuy, certain parts that were, historical brownstones and shit like this, right? So Chris Rock, he actually lived in it looked like a fire station. It was one of those type of houses, real old school and shit. And one time he went to the store and we was all in the bodega. This was back in the day when he didn't live too far from what's the name of that Chinese food spot? It's like one of the most famous Chinese food spots in Brooklyn and Bed-Stuy. Anywho, he in the bodega trying to get his little knickknacks and shit, and somebody's bothering like, "Oh my God, it's Chris Rock! Oh my God!" And I turn around, I'm like, "Yo, why don't you leave this man alone? Let this motherfucker get his Kindles and bits, whatever the fuck he need to get, a cigarette or some shit. Let that nigga go home and jerk off, man. Leave this nigga alone. Stop bothering his ass." And everybody in the store was like, "Word up, what's wrong with y'all? The fuck?" Calm down. Yo, this man, Chris Rock, looked at me and my people was like, "Yo, thank you." We was like, "Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Anybody got time for this stupid shit? Go get your shit and go, man." Like, he was in the neighborhood for way too long for motherfuckers to be troubling his ass. You know what I mean? Like, yo, why you bothering him? Let him go. Ain't nobody for 10 fucking 15 years bother this motherfucker. And here you go acting like a groupie. Get out of here with that stupid shit. Anyway, that's my story.
Nah, but you know what though? To that point though, I think that's the issue with a lot of entertainers, whether they're comedians, actors, rappers, whatever. They like at the time that you're talking about, I don't know what Chris Rock's status was as it relates to Hollywood or how far
he was in there. This was like 2015, 2014, around that time.
Yeah, he was established already.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is that there's brothers and sisters that are established in the entertainment community, regardless of if it's hip hop, if it's you're an actor, you're a comedian, whatever, they still want to be connected to their community. And I don't fault none of them for that. But unfortunately, what we're seeing, especially, I don't know, I mean, I'm from the Bronx. I don't know if you're seeing what's going on in the Bronx now. I'm not into this drill rap shit. I'm too old.
Oh, yeah. That gang rap shit. Like, that shit is in Brooklyn a little something too. And I'm
I think it started in Brooklyn, but now it's deep in the Bronx. It's deep in the Bronx, and you got all of these murders happening in the Bronx now. And I'm saying it's crazy that people who have some sort of fame or notoriety and they still want to be in their neighborhoods, not understanding that when you get a certain status or you reach a certain status, that motherfuckers that knew you in the street and now all of a sudden you getting some attention, they coming at you harder than they did back before nobody knew who the fuck you was.
Right. And it makes you understand why Jigga Jay-Z ain't never stayed in Marcy Projects. You feel me?
Yeah, why would he? Get yourself out of there and get your moms out of there and live your life. That's what it's supposed to be about. But for some reason, a lot of these cats want to maintain this is where I'm from and I'm still good here. No, you're not good here, because niggas see you as an op now, or a op or a victim. It's one of the two.
Right.
Because nigga,
go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the fact that you got this notoriety now niggas is jealous. So either you about to be an op, or hopefully, niggas is looking like maybe he'll put me on his team and then we could all be cool. But niggas only fuck with their day ones. Niggas don't fuck with the. That's what I never understood about hip hop. If you from Brooklyn, you from the Bronx, you from Queens, you from Staten Island or whatever, you from Harlem. Listen, you become famous, the whole neighborhood don't get put on. That's not how it works.
Right.
But for some reason, the neighborhood feels like everybody's supposed to be put on because, like, for example, you brought up Jay-Z and Marcy Projects. Like, the whole project's supposed to be put on because Jay-Z got famous. That's not how it works.
Not at all.
But that's what niggas think, though.
You lucky Jaz-O got a shout out 15 fucking years later.
Listen, Jaz-O, listen, I'm old enough to remember when Jaz-O did the Hawaiian Sophie joint.
Yes.
And he did the originator joint where Jay-Z did the Jay-Z did his verse on the originators joint. And I thought Jaz-O was dope as fuck.
Everybody did. Everybody thought Jaz-O was the winner, yo. Everybody thought Jaz-O was the winner.
Jay-Z learned from that nigga. And I think what happens with a lot of these brothers is that they use their talent. And Jaz-O was mad talented.
Yes.
I don't think he understood the business aspect of it. Jay-Z learned the business.
Well, you know what? Nobody really knew the business aspect of that shit back in those days. You feel me?
No, they didn't.
Nobody really did.
What I'm saying is that Jay-Z studied it and learned it.
Yeah, that's a definite fact, though. That's a definite fact. And Jalea, we're going to get back to what I was going to talk about before, but I'm glad we're talking about this because Michael made me remember another thing that bothered me about this whole Will Smith, Chris Rock thing. Chris Rock is a motherfucking comedian. Y'all heard? So you mean to tell me now that a comedian can't do their motherfucking job because they fear that somebody, some heckler or somebody's going to come up there and smack them or pull a gun out on them or some dumb shit? Imagine if Dave Chappelle was the host of the motherfucking Oscars. Y'all know he would have said a worse joke, and he probably would have smacked Will back if Will smacked his ass. So I don't really think Will Smith would have smacked Dave Chappelle. And I know motherfuckers is like, yo, Richard Pryor not alive. He couldn't make it in this day and age. But fuck all that. Bernie Mac, you know what I'm saying? Old school Steve Harvey. Them motherfuckers would have fucking Chris Tucker. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? All these motherfuckers. They'd have made worse fucking jokes, my nigga. Worse jokes.
I wanted to point this out because I don't hear this being talked about, but Chris Rock is not as small as he used to be, but Chris Rock is not a big dude. Will Smith smacked this nigga, and Chris Rock did go back, but it's not like he put him on his back or none of that.
He did. That's why I thought it was fake.
Where's the win in any of that? Like, if he was trying to make a point, then you make a point, especially if you're making a point on live TV, on live air. My nigga, what was the point that you were trying to make by smacking him? And matter of fact, that your wife respect what you did.
I think he was, there's a lot of people out there, Michael. I'm glad that you asked that question, Michael Phillips. I'm so happy, my nigga, Michael Phillips, you asked this question because a lot of black people, white people, people from Mars, these motherfuckers like, oh my gosh, he defended his wife, and y'all should be happy that the black man finally defended the black woman. What? Are you dumb? That don't need to be defended, my nigga. We could have just laughed that off and made some more money. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what Will Smith did when Chris Rock told the joke. Will Smith laughed his ass off. So, but then then you don't see the camera shot. You see Jada's reaction, but you see Will laughing, and then the camera shot goes away from them. So something had to transpire between the two of them that caused Will to get up and go do what he did. But initially, his first response was that shit
I'm gonna laugh it off.
Yes.
Now, this is why this bothers me. I mean, it doesn't bother me, as black people, whatever. Yeah, defend your woman, da da da. But there's a time and place for everything, and it should be equal to equal. You feel me? Chris Rock did not put his hands on Jada Pinkett Smith. Chris Rock did not put his hands on motherfucking Will Smith. So all of that, you know what I'm saying? Let me smack you because I said some corny ass joke to your wife. That's stupid. It reminds me a lot of these YouTube streets where motherfuckers will do one thing and then they retaliate with something that don't match. You feel me? Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Yo,
If somebody roasted you, roast them the fuck back. You can't roast them back. All right, take your licks and come back later then. You ain't got to go get a gun because somebody beat you with words. You feel me? I ain't got to dox you because you said a diss about me. Good fucking joke. Bye. You know what I'm saying?
and listen, when you watch the video, you see Chris Rock with his hands behind his back. No aggressive posture, none of that. So, and then when Will smacked him and then he walked off, he had this swagger, like he just did something like real serious, like yeah, that like
exactly, Jaleel.
and I'm like, yo, my nigga, like you embarrassed yourself and you embarrassed your wife and you embarrassed your family because that wasn't it. Whatever you wanted to do, you could have, basically you could have took care of that behind the scenes, or you could have had some words with him behind the scenes. However you felt like you needed to address it, that should have been behind the scenes, not on live air. And what you did is make us as black people look foolish, impulsive. Will Smith is respected in Hollywood, and then before he was a actor, he was a rapper. And when I was a kid, I wasn't a kid, I was
teenager, preteen and shit. Using
I'm trying to think. Yeah, like his first hit was like Parents Just Don't Understand, I think.
Right, that type of shit. Yeah, we was like 10, 11, 12. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't. I was like headed to the military. But you understand.
Wait. Hold on, Mike. You in your 50s. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm 55, so you heard.
I'm still in the 40s.
Yeah. But you understand what I'm saying, though? It was like we all had a perspective of Will Smith. It's like he not that, even though he's from West Philly, he's not built like that. Like he's not no tough guy.
And you know what, Michael Phillips, you're right, because that's the other problem. You spent 30 years as a rapper who was the total opposite of a gangster rapper. Now all of a sudden you want to be a gangsta ass real life motherfucker. If you don't get the holy hot fuck out of here with your fake ass shit,
you heard?
You better go put on your neon hat and your neon fucking sweatshirt and pants and go, fucking Running Man the fuck over there. Nigga.
Sister Chateau, what up, sister?
Peace, my brother and my sister. Peace.
What's going on?
And peace to everybody in the chat. Cherie, I know you want to get to another topic, but I had to come up here and give my spill on this real quick.
No, we good. We good.
Okay.
We can talk about this.
Okay. I just want to say, as far as that slap is concerned, in my opinion, it was all cap. First of all, Chris Rock had to be wearing a dynamic and powerful mic to stand up there in front of all of those people. And all I heard was a poof. If he got slapped.
It sounded like Will Smith tapped the floor. It was like one of them
exactly
one of those stunt moves. Yes.
Right.
That's what I thought it was at first too. Mm-hmm.
If he got slapped enough to turn his body halfway around, that shit should have sounded like period. I should have heard something more than that. That's number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, Chris Rock had no idea that Will Smith wasn't going to try to assault him a second time. Mm-hmm. So you mean he just doesn't take a defensive stance? He just waits for Will Smith to turn his back? I mean, I just want
Chateau, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost, if you're defending your wife against something that a man did to your wife, and you consider it like disrespectful or whatever, I'm not slapping no nigga.
No.
I'm trying to put that nigga on the ground.
Lay him down. Exactly.
I'm not slapping no nigga, especially not on national TV.
But hold on, y'all. Hold on, because that might be the very reason why Will Smith smacked him instead of punched him, because he knew exactly where the fuck he was. He knew he was in front of all them white folk and all them other folk and all around the world folk. So he probably thought it was the cutest thing ever to go up there and smack a nigga instead of going up in there and close. Because imagine Auntie Choctaw, Michael Phillips. If Will Smith closed fist that motherfucker, the LAPD would have been in there with the quickness. It wouldn't have been no, yo, can you leave? No, I ain't gonna leave. Okay, accept your award. LAPD would have came in there and stomped that motherfucker out and took him the fuck out quick.
But sister, Shri Bad, here's my point though. If you're in the moment, somebody just disrespected your wife as a man, I'm not thinking about nothing but laying this motherfucker down. Not shooting him, not killing him. I'm talking about physically putting this nigga on his back. But
as your wife, Michael Phillips, who got disrespected, I'd have calmly touched you on your hand and been like, hold that. We gonna do it. Hold that until after. We're gonna take it back to the old school. We're gonna do it here.
Exactly.
Calm down, baby. We got time. We're gonna catch this nigga at somebody's house. Okay?
But can I also say, if I was Jada, I would have been sitting there like, oh no, you laughed already. What was all that show about? You was already sitting here laughing.
But we didn't see what happened after Will laughed, and then Jada did the face like where she was like, oh, that's not funny. We didn't see what happened after that.
She rolled her eyes before he laughed. She rolled her eyes before Will Smith laughed. He didn't even notice her rolling her eyes until he looked over.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then here's the thing. Here's the thing I wanted to say. Hey, what's up, Joe? Here's the thing I wanted to say about what Choctaw said. Right. Damn, Choctaw, you said that Chris Rock didn't, he reacted. What we did get to see was how Chris Rock reacted after he left the stage. And if you were to see that footage of how Chris Rock reacted after he left the stage, you could tell that nigga was embarrassed as fuck. You could tell he didn't know what the fuck to do. Like, you could see in his eyes, like, yo, if I hit that motherfucker, what would have happened? Yeah, but you could see that he really wanted to do something, yo. He really did. And it was just like so many emotions that he just looked sad as fuck.
That's that BK shit. That's that BK
shit. Yeah, he looked sad, like, damn, I could have killed this mother. Damn, yo, you know what? This I think he actually, it kind of looked like he felt more sorry for Will Smith. Because like, damn, nigga, do you really know what the fuck you did? Let me just keep this. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, his reaction was, I just got smacked by Will Smith. He said Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure did.
And he kept pushing. Wait. No, before that, I'm sorry to cut you off, but he said this is the most iconic night in the history of the awards. Something to that effect.
The Oscars. Yeah.
And Choctaw Pete, when he said that, you didn't know why he said that this is the most iconic moment. It was the most iconic moment because they had an all-black production. Now, what are the fucking white people gonna think of this all-black production that allowed this shit to pop off? Did we really want Love and Hip Hop? Love and Hip Hop didn't work on the Oscars, B.
Right.
Hey, listen, did y'all see what's her name? Lupita. I can't pronounce her last name. Did y'all see her reaction when Will Smith sat back down and was like, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth? Did you see her reaction?
Yeah. She was like, yo, you bugging. Shut your ass up.
Exactly.
Now, see,
niggas on some different shit.
My thing is this. If he had just sat there, didn't hit Chris Rock, and yelled out, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth,
Right.
That would have been enough for me. I wouldn't have had no problem with that. I'd have been like, yeah, defend your wife, da 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 da. But the fact that he went up there and hit the motherfucker, that motherfucker ain't hit you. Now, if that nigga hit you back, remember, I'm from Brooklyn. You know, we from New York. You can say whatever the fuck you want. Don't fucking touch me. You touch me, it's a fucking rap. I'm done with you. You gonna be done.
Yeah,
just like fucking
New
Michael
York
Phillips
niggas
said.
talk. Listen, New York niggas talk shit all day, every day. But the moment, listen, Shree, you already know when a nigga say to you, "What happened?" You know what that means,
right?
You know what that means. So I'm saying, listen, we can keep it. You know, you could talk all of the shit you want to talk, and I'm gonna talk shit back to you, or I'm gonna keep it pushing. But the minute the minute it gets physical, it turns into something else.
And why is that, Michael? Because me and you lived in the 80s when you could point at a motherfucker and they pull out a gun and shoot you in your face.
Yeah, yeah.
You say one thing about somebody's mother, they fucking shooting you in your fucking neck.
But understand,
you know what I'm saying?
understand, Shree, I left New York in '84. So understand, like my experience in New York was like the 70s and the early 80s. But the shit that happened in New York, like in the later 80s and the 90s, when the Bloods and all of that, I don't have that experience.
Listen, I'm not even with Michael. I'm not even talking about the Bloods. I'm talking about before
I'm just
the Bloods
saying
and
New
Crips.
York in general. I'm just saying what you just to back up what you said. Like you could talk your shit and we can go back and forth, but the minute some physical shit happens, it turns into something else.
Word up.
That's all I'm saying.
Like these cats is physical or whatever. They not physical like how we was, like how niggas was back in the day. You feel me? So it's like.
But listen, but I think, listen. I'm gonna say you said Chris Rock is from Jersey, but he lived in Brooklyn for years.
Somebody said he was from Brooklyn. I'm not sure. I know that he lived in Brooklyn.
He was from Brooklyn.
He might have been born in Brooklyn.
But what I'm telling you is that Chris Rock is, you know, from my understanding, was from Brooklyn, and his brother Tony Rock is from Brooklyn. And what I'm telling you is that regardless of what the public image or perspective of Chris Rock is, he's from Brooklyn. So regardless of what you see him as, you got to understand where he come from. And Tony Rock, his brother, is like he's really with the shits.
So we can consider Tony Rock the Charlie Murphy. You know, when Eddie Murphy was a little.
Yes, that's a great comparison right there. Yes, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Hey, everybody.
Peace, Miss Whit. What's going on, sister?
I'm good. I got the kid running around, but I wanted to say a few things about this topic because this had me pissed. So, in my opinion, Will was wrong. And while I have to put blame on Will, I also got to put blame on Jada, because one of the unwritten rules as a wife is to make sure your husband don't go off the motherfucking deep end or do something or act off impulse.
Thank you.
That's a fact.
She could have said, Will, sit your ass down.
Right. It ain't that deep.
It's not that deep. They weren't sitting that far from the stage where Chris Rock was. So she could have said, Will, y'all would have heard me on the camera. Will, sit your ass down.
But wait a minute.
Miss Whit.
Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead.
No, Michael.
Nah, I was just gonna give an example of what you're talking about. So me and my wife are out at this function, and there's a dude that keep looking at my wife, right? And you know, I'm used to niggas looking at my wife and all of that. But then it seemed to me it appears that he's being aggressive, right? So I was about to go do something to this nigga, and my wife grabbed my hand and said, "Baby, sit your ass down." It turns out that the dude is a gay dude, and he had worked with my wife, you know, off and on, but he had never met me. So I guess he was looking at me like trying to see, you know, I don't know what he was looking. I can't explain it. I'm just saying that my natural instinct was like, okay, this nigga is trying to disrespect me, and I'm about to put this nigga on his back. And my wife had to grab my hand and say, no, chill. This is so and so. I was like, well, I don't know who so and so is. Yes, you do. But and see this. But never mind. I'm not gonna turn this into something else that women do, but but understand that I was on go time and my wife had to bring me back.
Okay, Tata.
No.
Now listen, I want to put it on something Miss Witt said because she made me remember something on point. The motherfucking Will Smith and Jada Pinkett are idiots. Okay, let me explain why these motherfuckers is idiots. First of all, you supposedly got beef with Chris Rock before, right? Okay, he said some old fly shit about your wife before, and y'all had problems. Okay. Why the fuck would you sit in the front row in front of a motherfucking comedian for?
Yo, hold on.
Right. When that nigga got beef with that motherfucker. I wasn't aware of that. If you got information on that, can you break that down? Because I never heard that before. So they had another Oscars before a couple years back, like in 2010 Snacks or some dumb shit like this, right? And Chris Rock was the host, and he made a whole joke about Jada, like, yo, she don't even need to be here. So, you know, what we worried about her for? That was the basic gist of the joke. And Will Smith that she don't have like, no, we gonna ban the Oscars. We're not gonna go to the Oscars because that motherfucker said that shit. So if you don't like that motherfucker already, and you know he's a fucking comedian, why the fuck you gonna sit in front of the row in front of that motherfucker? You know he gonna get you. This is what black comedians do. They not gonna look at the motherfucker all the way in the back. They not gonna be like, yo, Brad Pitt in the fucking back, let me get on your ass. They gonna be like, who the fuck is sitting right in front of me? Let me get in they ass. So these motherfuckers should know better. They should have sat in the back.
Hey, yo, who was the comedian that was on stage in California? I can't remember. This happened years ago, but you remember the dude from the Jerry Springer show? What was his name? Like Michael Richards or something?
Who? Steve Wilkos? No,
the dude with the tall dude with the wild hair.
You mean from Seinfeld, Michael Richards? Yeah,
Seinfeld.
He said the N-word.
Yeah. My bad.
He said the N-word. Yeah.
I said Springer. But did you notice that? Like
Giuliani said no.
He was in a black club, comedy club.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get attacked or none of that. No, damn, I'm fucking up. So Michael Richards was the comedian in this black club. He said the N-word several times. Yep. Nobody attacked him. Black people walked out of that show, but nobody attacked him. So I'm saying all of that to say,
and he got canceled like a motherfucker.
Right. Yep. So my point is, like, you can be disrespectful on stage as a comedian, and if people take it like you went too far, they have the ability to say, oh, fuck this nigga, we not supporting this shit. What Chris Rock said, in my opinion, I don't know how y'all feel. I think I heard your opinion already, Sister Shree, but what he said, it wasn't that funny, but he was trying to be funny. But it wasn't that disrespectful.
Right.
It just wasn't.
Yeah, but see, black people still handled it right. They walked out. They could have beat the bricks out of that motherfucker, all kinds of shit. Yep. But they walked out and they let him get canceled like he was supposed to. Yep. And that was that. That was the right way to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If everybody's worried about the alopecia and all that other fly shit. And you know what? And that's the funniest shit too, because I'm telling motherfuckers in real life, I said, yo, I know people on YouTube with alopecia and they get it worse than Jada Pinkett ever fucking got it. And these motherfuckers are still standing strong, doing their thing, getting pregnant as we just found out. You feel me? So what the fuck is Jada Pinkett problem? Why the fuck she's so sensitive? Yeah, haircut look good, bitch. What the fuck is wrong with you?
And listen, let's be real. Listen, I don't know if y'all agree, but I saw Jada Pinkett, even with her low haircut, she still looked beautiful.
She does. She still looks good.
Right. So my point is, why is the focus on the hair? Because nobody cares. At the end of the day, that's still your fucking wife. and you still find her beautiful. So what the fuck does this, like you said, Shree, this nigga is a comedian. And that's what he does. Y'all sitting in the front, and you know, as a comedian, the motherfuckers in the front get it the worst.
Exactly. The fuck is you talking about? And yeah, Jalea, I get it. They assigned the seats to them, but if Will Smith is the power motherfucker that he's supposed to be, he could have been like, nah, I'm not sitting there. Let me sit where Lupita Nyong'o is sitting, or let me sit where some other motherfucker sitting. We gonna switch the fucking seat.
Well, Lupita
I don't
was
know
right
fuck if
behind
he's
him.
winning or not. Yeah, the fuck out of here. You know what? Let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. When I used to work at MTV, and yes, I did work at MTV, I used to be a seat filler for a lot of those video shows. Okay, a lot of those video shows, and sometimes you get to sit in the motherfucking front with the motherfucking you know what I'm saying? With whoever's right there. And you can, and any fucking one of them stars could be like, nah, I'm gonna switch seats with the seat filler. You understand me? Sometimes they go to the bathroom, sometimes they go do what they do, and the seat filler will sit right there. And there have been times where some of them celebrities, like I wouldn't be exactly in the front, but I'll be like in the middle, and the celebrity, and they'll come up to me and they be like, yo, this celebrity want to sit in your seat, you go switch with them. All right, cool. The fuck?
Hey, yo, let me ask you this question. What's the white female comedian that was one of the hosts of the show? The
Amy
one
Schumer?
Amy Schumer. Yeah,
okay,
Amy
so
Schumer.
her talking like she's so traumatized as to what happened, and she said all kinds of crazy jokes, anti-black jokes, and borderline racist jokes on African American people. Where's the outrage in that shit? But now she's so traumatized because Will Smith smacked another black man, and somehow she's traumatized by that. What the fuck are we talking about here?
Well, see, that's the power. That's the power of words. This is another. This is the perception of black people versus the perception of everybody else. Because them motherfuckers, they don't give a fuck about words. That's why you can look at a white person, call them crack and hunky all day, and they'll just laugh and be like, "You so cute," and pat you on the fucking head.
You heard?
All right.
That
Words
shit
don't
never
mean
meant
as much
shit
to
to
them
them.
as words mean to us. We take tone like it's a knife to the heart, yo. You can have your tone a little bit wrong to a black person, and that shit be like death, and the motherfucker ready to kill you. But sometimes them white folks, not all of them live like trailer trash. Some of the motherfuckers really don't give a fuck about a word. Okay? They'll say whatever the fuck they want. And then if you touch them or anything like that, then it's the problems. You feel me? Like,
Listen,
come on.
so here's the thing, what you just said. So let's talk about how we take words, right? So, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago, and I know it goes back further than that, but I'm just talking about in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
We hear the word nigga and it triggers something, right?
Yeah.
But
especially depending on who says it and
right.
how it's said.
Right. Well, and that's my point. I'm not saying another black person addresses another black person in that way. I'm talking about outside of us. But what I'm saying, like, and you from New York too, so there's a lot of Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, whatever. Them Puerto Ricans say nigga just as much as we do.
Michael Phillips, all of them say it. All of them say it.
And we don't get offended because we grew up. No, I'm saying we don't get offended because we grew up around it. Now, if you take a stance and say, well, I don't appreciate you saying that, I get it. But what I'm saying is that in the if you look at the surroundings of where we grew up at, that's a common thing. We call them niggas, they call us niggas. But it's not, where I grew up at, especially, there was more Puerto Ricans than probably any other group. But I'm saying all of that to say that they move just like we move. Like it's almost like they mimicked how we did things. I'm not saying
everybody mimics how the fuck we do things. That's the blessing, and it's a fucking curse too.
Because we are the culture.
Yeah. But I'm saying all of that to say that when I was a kid growing up and I heard Boricuas calling black people niggas, and I heard black people calling Boricuas niggas. That was normal for me. Now I get it. Like when you become an adult, then maybe you take a stance on it. But I'm saying growing up, that was a norm. That wasn't out of pocket because that's just what happened. Like Miss Witt, you from Texas, so there's a large group of Mexicans there, and I don't know if that's the same in Texas. I would think that it wouldn't be, but you could tell me otherwise. Like,
oh, Hispanics here, they say the N word like it's nothing, honey.
no,
Especially
but
when
I'm
they're
saying,
older.
do they say it to y'all, and do y'all address them the same way?
So for what I've seen, for example, I work in schools, and growing up in Houston, black folks, Hispanic folks, if y'all grew up together, y'all pretty much gonna be friends and go to the same school. So in conversation when they're playing around, hey nigga, look at this, whatever, nigga, get the fuck out of here. But then if it's a fight, the N word is just flying everywhere. And the thing is, no one really gets offended. No one gets offended. Because blacks and Hispanics, it's like we
And that's kind of sort of what my point was. It's like because we all grew up around each other, and we grew up in the same projects and all of that. That was kind of the norm. That it wasn't. In other words, it wasn't abnormal for me to hear a black person address a Puerto Rican as a nigga or vice versa.
Can I give y'all a different perspective?
Go ahead, sister.
And it's crazy. Me growing up, I grew up in a place called Flatbush, Brooklyn. Now, many people don't know about Flatbush, Brooklyn, but Flatbush, Brooklyn is full of West Indian folks.
Yes,
okay,
that's where where's the parade at?
The West Indian Day Parade is in Crown Heights.
Crown Heights, okay.
But Flatbush has the biggest concentration of West Indian people, and then Crown Heights is second. All right. So when I was growing up, it was weird because I was the only West Indian person in my 4-block radius to even like hip hop music. All the West Indian kids looked at me like I was the weirdo. What you listening to that foolishness rap for? Well, to you, that's fuckery. Nope, I liked it. I'm saying that to say this. When I was growing up, the problem was the B was the word bitch. Remember when NWA was calling people bitches and it went up to Congress or wherever the fuck it went to and they was talking?
Before NWA was doing that, who was doing that in New York? Cool G Rap.
Yes, all the motherfuckers.
Yeah.
It's a fact. It's a fact. So now, when they was doing all that, my response was, I ain't the bitch they talking about, so what the fuck do I care? I don't give a fuck about that. Look, shit, they ain't talking about me. I ain't got to be mad. Exactly. And it was the same thing with the word nigga. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because as a West Indian person, right, people were looked at different than the regular Black American. So the Mexican and all of them, they couldn't say nigga in front of us. They couldn't talk like that in front of us. Because if they called us nigga, we was calling them all kind of other motherfucking shit, and they was probably getting stomped in their motherfucking face.
And you know what? It's like that in Mississippi. So
yeah, and you know what, Miss Witt? When I was in the military, you know, when I talk to Black people, especially like I'm more careful about it now, but back then in my 20s, early 20s, I'm talking about when I was in the military, I addressed a Black male from Alabama and a Black male from Mississippi. I addressed them as nigga, and them both of them said, "What you said?" Like, hold on, nigga, them fighting words. But again, and unfortunately, where I'm from, we say that we said that shit like religiously. Nigga this, nigga that, whatever.
And I was able to understand that too, because I knew the Black American side, so it didn't bother me.
Yeah, so to Miss Witt's point though, like, and you know, I'm talking about my experience growing up, but we all as Black people have our own experience depending on what part of the country you come from. It's a different experience. And now, you know, my military experience in the early 80s, where these two Southern dudes was like, nigga, you called me a nigga? Now, them same states, I hear Black people in both of them states addressing each other as nigga, or like on a regular.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know if it's the music, you know, and I'm talking about hip hop especially.
Yes.
But I'm just saying.
Yes.
I don't know, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't start hearing people call each other the N-word until after college, and I graduated from college in 2008. And when I started working in schools, I was like, "Oh wait, y'all really get to call each other the N-word? Wait, we let Hispanics get a pass? When did that start?" Like, I was confused. I was floored. And then, like in Mississippi, you know, where my husband is from, a Hispanic person, that's like like you don't see them much. So a Hispanic person there is an anomaly. And and if you hear them say the N-word, they're gonna get beat the hell up, because wait a minute, who the fuck are you? Aren't you supposed to be somewhere else? And what the fuck you doing here in Mississippi? So
Well,
it's
so hold on. So that's a great point you just made. Sister Shree,
Yeah.
you remember who the Young Lords were. All right. There was like the Puerto Rican version in Harlem of the Black Panthers.
Yes.
Right?
Before Latin Kings, right?
Before Latin Kings, yes. This
Facts.
was like in the 60s or whatever. But I'm saying all of that to say that Puerto Ricans were brought up to New York to work, to do, you know, labor.
They were immigrants. Facts.
Right. So they basically grew up around us. There were certain neighborhoods where it was mostly Puerto Rican. There were certain neighborhoods where it was mostly Black. But what I'm saying is the Puerto Ricans were always in some form of fashion, especially depending on what part of New York you lived in. They were there. And so I'm saying that they've been here.
Hold on, Michael Phillips. I'm going to pause you right there. Because you got to remember, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, all of them motherfuckers were in New York before the Mexican invasion. Right?
I'm not even talking, but I'm not talking about Mexican. I'm just talking about specifically the New York experience.
Right,
I'm not talking
right.
That's why I asked Sister Miss Witt, because I know she's in Texas. I know there's probably a different experience with the Mexicans where she comes from. But what I'm saying, there's Mexicans in New York, but the proliferation of Puerto Ricans is heavy, and it's been heavy for decades.
And what I wanted to add to that was that Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans, etc., they were able to integrate into the Black American and the Caribbean diaspora in New York, whereas in other states, it might not have been the same shit. They got separated with the Mexicans. You feel me?
And that's why I mentioned the Young Lords.
Yes.
Because the Young Lords was a political activist group, but they were Puerto Ricans basically seeking the same thing that the Black Panthers were seeking at that time.
And they were accepted.
Yes.
And they were accepted by the Black Panthers too, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm saying there's a difference in regions of how people look at other people. And I'm saying when I see a Puerto Rican, and because this is how I grew up, I see them as, even though I know they're not my people, necessarily, they accept the same history that I accept. They understand that there's an African heritage there, even though they have a native Indian connection also on this Western hemisphere. Yes, they also understand the African heritage. So that's why I'm saying there's a difference between them and the Mexicans, that, as I see it. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I'm talking.
Nah, Mike, you right. And it's amazing how nowadays we only now finding out about Black Mexicans. Guess who's a Black Mexican? Lupita Nyong'o.
Right.
Wow.
You know what
See,
I'm
I
saying?
did not know that.
Yeah, she was born in Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's a black Mexican, even though, she's African. So yeah, we didn't know that back in the day. We had no idea. So that's why I feel like Mexicans were separated. They were able to be separate from us. Like we didn't include them into our mix, even though they're technically, you know what I'm saying? They where they at. Because in New York, you're not gonna say an Ecuadorian is separate from a Puerto Rican. Nah, y'all come on in here. Y'all are
Yes,
cousins. The fuck
that's what
out
it
of here.
is. That's what it is. That's how we give it up. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying different
Mhm.
parts of the United States, especially, may look at it different, but I'm saying New York is like a different planet. And what they used to call Brooklyn back in the day, sister,
The planet.
the planet.
The
That's what I'm
planet
saying. New
Brooklyn.
York is the planet. It's like so many, diverse groups and different forms of people, where the world is catching up to accepting diversity and all of that. New York had to do that years ago.
So now, Michael Phillips, let's take it to now, back to the word nigga, because here in New York, technically, like speaking from where we coming from, right?
Mm-hmm.
The problem right now in New York is that you got Arab kids,
Yep.
white kids, Polish kids, Russian kids,
Yep.
all these other different motherfuckers saying the word nigga like it ain't nothing, calling each other nigga.
But you know why? You know why? Let's go back to what we was talking about earlier. They embrace our culture, right? So they want to
Yep.
be a part of what we doing so much that they mimic what we do. And unfortunately, what they're doing is talking the same way we talk to each other.
But yet, and still, Michael Phillips, if you try to go up in Bay Ridge or you try to go up in Bensonhurst, the motherfuckers will still come at you like, nah, not you, Mooly, not
Yeah.
you, not this nigga.
So now
Your
you're
nigga
talking
ass
about.
can't come
So
over
now
here.
you're talking
Our
about the
nigga asses can
Italians.
stay right here.
You're talking about the Italians. Yes. Listen, the Italians ain't. Listen, even though the Italians fuck with hip hop, I'm talking about the younger kids, and they may, a young Italian boy may fuck with a sister or whatever. They peoples is not letting them.
Right.
How can I phrase it? They not letting them. Like, you can't bring your black girlfriend to a family
That's
function.
it.
You
And that
can't
to me
do
is
that.
the problem. And that to
Yep.
me is the problem. Y'all
Yep.
can talk that shit, y'all can act like this, but y'all ain't letting niggas in the dinner table still. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
The spook who sat. What was the name of that movie? The spook who sat at the dinner table or whatever. The
The
fuck.
spook was at the door. You talking about the
Right.
Sidney Poitier
Right.
film?
They
Yeah.
still not letting the spook sit at the door, but
Nope.
they want to do everything the spook do. You feel me? And that's the problem in New York. I don't know if that's the problem everywhere else, but that's the problem in New York. Like they'll be like, "Oh, we could talk this, we could act like this, we call each other this and that, we listen to the music ooh." But then when it comes time, they still not allowing black people in their neighborhood. They still not giving them the
Right.
respect that they need to get.
It's
So
somewhat
that's
the
why
same
I be
way
like,
here in Houston.
"Fuck all that."
Yeah, it's somewhat the same way here in Houston. Like you got
Okay.
the hold on, my kid's tablet's loud. So in some neighborhoods, black and Hispanics, we grew up together. So or we went to school together. So we don't like it's like, okay, you Mexican or you Hispanic, but I've known you forever, so I don't even knock that. But their parents, the very traditional parents, oh my goodness, they do not want us black people around at all.
Okay. Okay.
And I hate bringing up this case, but there was this case in Houston about this girl that was kidnapped. Oh well, the dad called saying that she was kidnapped. Found out that the dad pretty much, not the dad, the stepdad killed her and all that other stuff. And the original call was saying, "Oh, 3 Hispanic men jumped me and kidnapped my daughter." And I was like, "Wait a minute, this is a little black light skinned girl. You said 3 Hispanics kidnapped her? I don't believe that because Hispanics don't even rock with us like that. If they're going to kidnap somebody, they're going to kidnap their own. They're not going to kidnap ours. So,
Right.
We not, it's like we not that close. We in the same neighborhood, but we don't rock like that unless we went to school together. That's not what it is. Mm-mm.
And you know what, too, Jalea? I'm gonna say a lot of that is the music, but but for a different reason. And I know Michael Phillips and Miss Witt are gonna support what I'm about to say. The lyrics and the meaning of the music to me has changed. Okay?
Drastically.
Big time. And that's the horrible part about how the music affects a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Because back in the days when I heard about white lines, and I was too young to even know what the fuck white lines was when the shit came out. But once I realized what the fuck it was,
Grandmaster
I
Flash.
wasn't gonna do that shit, or you know what I'm saying? Like when motherfuckers talked about what was going on in the crack era, how they was selling this, that, and the third. They wasn't saying it to truly brag and boast. They were just saying it like storytellers, like this is what goes on in the hood.
This is what's happening in the neighborhood. Exactly.
It wasn't on no snitch shit, and you know what I'm saying, where the feds could tap in. I mean, in New York, yeah, we had the hip hop police, but them motherfuckers used to patrol the clubs and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that was like in the 90s. Yeah, that was I think I've been in the tunnel one time when I was still in the military though.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the tunnel, but I heard the tunnel was crazy.
The tunnel was wild, yo. The tunnel was wild from the beginning to the end of that motherfucker, yo. Been in there many times, working and shit. All that. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. It's crazy. It's just crazy how the lyrics, like somebody said to me one time, oh, the lyrics is pretty much the same. Nah, motherfucker, the lyrics have changed.
That's not. Remember in the early let me say.
Hold on, let me say this real quick, Mike. Motherfucking Pookie did not rhyme about being a crackhead in the fucking 80s and 90s. Okay? Let's just say that.
Yeah. I was just about to say in the early 90s, there was I'm just talking about New York specifically. Because that's all I listened to back then. So I didn't know. I did know like Scarface, for example, in Texas.
Scarface, Ghetto Boys. You knew about a couple of them.
I didn't really like the Ghetto Boys. I just like Scarface specifically. But what I'm saying is I didn't know a lot about Southern rap groups or West Coast rap groups. The only Southern voice that I heard was Scarface at that time. But what I'm telling you is that in New York, Rakim, there was a lot of rappers, but Rakim especially was coming out with the information about Black positivity and all of that. So then you have this.
Let's not forget Guru from Gang Starr. Yes.
You know, and listen, and let's remember to my sister Miss Witt, if she don't know this, a Gang Starr, the DJ Premier was from Houston.
Yep,
and Guru wasn't from New York. Guru was from Boston, but they both migrated to Brooklyn, and that's how Gang Starr got formed. But I'm saying all of this to say a lot of hip hop artists back in the early 90s. What's the group, sister? X-Clan.
Yes, yes.
Poor Righteous Teachers.
Right. There's a couple of them like that. Yes.
Yeah, like that was my type of shit. And then somehow it drastically changed from self-love and self-awareness to
with the self-destruction and all that fly shit. Yeah.
It changed drastically out of nowhere, and I don't know how it happened. Listen, Nas is my favorite rap. Well, Nas is my second favorite rapper. My favorite rapper is Rakim, always, because he's the dude that got me into hip hop.
My second favorite is Big Daddy Kane. Shut your mouth.
Nah,
that motherfucker combined. He's the best lyricist.
You Brooklyn, so I get it. But listen, so Big Daddy Kane was talking about some pimp shit though. He wasn't talking about
he talked about a little righteous shit every once in a while.
Every now and again. Big Daddy Kane was about the females though.
Yeah. Sexy ass nigga. Yeah.
But I'm saying all of that to say that Nas, when you was talking about the White Lines joint, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nas kind of mimicked that aspect of that song from Grandmaster. It was Melly Mel then, I think.
Melly Mel, yes.
Yeah. I think Nas mimicked that when he did his first joint. He basically told stories about what he saw from his projects. He wasn't glorifying it. He wasn't saying that he was that. He was just telling you, like, remember the song he did, but this is like 2 or 3 albums later, where he did a song called "Looking Out My Project Window" and Ron Isley did the hook. He was basically telling you as a kid, this is what he saw in his neighborhood. He wasn't that. He was never that.
Yo,
go ahead.
I'm gonna tell y'all something real crazy. Well, Mike might have an because I don't know what was happening in the Bronx at this time. But I just want Miss Witt to notice it's crazy because the period of time that Mike is talking about with the X-Clan and all that, I call that the dictionary and encyclopedia period of rap and hip hop. Because when them motherfuckers, X-Clan, Poor Righteous Teachers, DOS Effects, them motherfuckers came out.
Brand Nubian.
You had Brand Nubian, all them type motherfuckers. You had to have either an encyclopedia or a motherfucking dictionary to look up these words, what the fuck they talking about, or get your African book out so you know what the fuck they talking about. Now, it was crazy because back then everybody used to have like the African medallions, you know what I'm saying, with the shape of Africa and the colors and shit, with the lion or whatever. And back in the day,
the arm joint.
Yes, and the slave, the arm joint turned into the slave bracelet, all that shit, right? So back in the day in Brooklyn, motherfuckers used to walk up on you and be like, yo, do you know what these colors mean? Do you know what this is? Do you know what that is? And if you didn't know what the fuck it was, you got beat the fuck up and robbed for tax for your shit.
Damn.
Okay?
Yeah,
that's how crazy it was in them days.
Yeah, New York back then, niggas was more physical. Now niggas is just shooters. They not getting dirty. They not putting their hands on you. They just shooting. And I'm sure that's the same all over the country. But we talking about New York because that's what I know. But I'm sure it's the same way. You can go to any state in this country, and I'm sure it's the same way. Like Miss Witt could tell me back in her day, niggas from Houston used to put the paws on you, but now niggas they'd rather shoot you than fight.
Yeah, right. Growing up, it was one of those things to where you knew where you was on the food chain, and you kind of had to fight your way through it. There guns, we didn't know anything about that. I mean, we only knew who had a gun, but it was mostly fighting. Now, these days, like I have students getting shot just standing outside the school. It's crazy. But I had to tell one of my students a few years back, like, hey, bro, there's nothing wrong with just squaring up and throwing bows, just throwing hands. Why y'all gotta shoot?
Listen, I heard a Chicago rapper who's a gang member. And I think he was addressing the I forgot the brother's name that the guy shot and killed in Atlanta, but he was making a point like it doesn't make sense to fight these days because if you whoop a nigga ass, eventually you're gonna have to encounter him again and he's gonna shoot you because niggas can't take an ass whooping. Back in the day, you would take an ass whooping. Either y'all would become friends or y'all would see each other again in round 2 or round 3, whatever. It don't work like that now.
Shoot the fair one.
Yeah, there's no fair one now. If you whoop my ass, y'all saw the video of the nigga from the 2 dudes that was homies from O Block in Chicago fighting. And the one dude was whooping the dude's ass, and then when he allowed the young dude, the dude that he was whooping, when he allowed him to get up, the nigga walked up on him and shot him.
Shit, Let me tell y'all
And that was
something.
his homie.
I'm gonna tell y'all the craziest part, okay? I grew up in a gun era. All right. I could go to any roller skating rink, whether it be Skate Key or Empire Skating Rink, go to the motherfucking park, go to the club, go here, go there, go any fucking where. And it be gunshot to welcome you, and you had to know how to zigzag properly. You're
Facts.
watching people get slashed up in them face, all kind of fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? But never once did a motherfucker bring anything to the fucking school.
Man,
You waited until after school or you cut school because
Yes.
you knew that if you brought some shit to the school, your mama gonna beat your ass.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
how bad of a man, bad of a woman you was, you did not want your mother or your fucking grandmother or your auntie or your uncle come and bust your ass
Because,
in front of every
hey,
fucking body.
Shree, and listen to this. Whatever ass whooping you got in the street was nowhere compared to what ass whooping you was getting when you got home.
That's
Man,
a fact.
You heard?
man. I remember I got into a fight at school and I thought those licks hurt. My daddy's licks.
Mm-mm. Okay. And that's the difference. And that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. You
But you
act
know
a
what?
fool in the street all day.
These kids, they have so much going on in their lives. Like, okay, I was at a school the other day, minding my business. I was just visiting. I was dropping off some stuff, talking to whoever, and a fight breaks out. And it was a 7-month pregnant girl who was fighting. And then after that ended, their parents came and they start fighting in front of the school.
Okay. Okay.
It's gotten out of hand. Every day there's a fight somewhere on campus. It doesn't matter what school I go to. There's always something going down. But the whole bringing guns to school, yeah, they do that too. You would like after the fight would break out, somebody in the middle of fighting, a gun would just fall off the pants. I'm like, what the fuck is going? Man, it's gotten to the point I was like, I don't even want to come to schools anymore. And my husband tells me, man, fuck that. It's an open carry state. You better walk up in that school with your gun ready.
Listen, let me tell you something, Miss Witt. When I used to go to junior high school, I went to junior high school in Bushwick. Okay? And I'm sure Michael Phillips has heard of Bushwick as some old crazy ass shit too in Brooklyn. And that's Yankee people, them. That's Black Americans. That ain't, you know what I'm saying? That ain't fucking West Indians no more. So I'm going to junior high school, and for freshman day, motherfuckers is getting hit upside their head with rocks filled with flour and socks, and bitches getting nair and meat poured in their long ass hair and all their hair falling the fuck out. And motherfuckers getting cut with razors that's stuck in their mouth. You know, they taking it out their mouth and just slashing people. And it's not even on no blood ass shit.
Oh yeah.
Okay? It ain't even on no blood ass shit. These junior high school motherfucker folk.
Yeah, I learned about the razor and the mouth thing in middle school. I learned about the razor and the tongue. Yeah, learned that in middle school.
Razor the side of my all that fly shit. Come on now, crazy ass shit, yo, crazy fucking shit.
Listen,
and it's like, yo, who's the people that survive? When you meet up with these kids today, it be like, I be telling these kids like, yo, you don't know fucking nothing. You ain't see fucking nothing. And it's not about being a part of that shit all the time. It's about surviving that shit and learning from that shit. Y'all motherfuckers is roaming a little bit too free. Like, what the fuck? Y'all ain't got no kind of consequence or nothing. You really ain't never seen nobody get shot in their face, did you? Because if you did, you'd be like thinking different. The fuck?
I want to address what Ms. Witt said, but real quick, based on what you just said, Sheree, when you talking about Bushwick, listen, Bushwick, Fort Greene, you know, you could name the spot in Brooklyn, but Brownsville has always been my worst experience.
Brownsville, East New York, that's a fact.
Yeah, Brownsville, eat pink houses, all of that.
Yeah.
But Brownsville especially has always been like my worst experiences growing up as it relates to Brooklyn cats. And you understand that we're in the northern, from the Bronx, we're in the northern part of New York. We're next to Harlem. So,
and y'all had certain parts of the Bronx that Brooklyn motherfuckers was like, don't darken your shadow over there, son.
Yeah, But
Southbound,
I'm just giving perspective that back then, Brooklyn was considered like the worst. Like Brooklyn niggas would rob you just because.
Yeah, because they don't know you.
Right, just because. So when I mentioned the tunnel earlier, Brooklyn niggas would be outside of the tunnel waiting for niggas to come out just to rob them. They ain't give a fuck who you was, where you was from. Brooklyn niggas was robbing you. But I'm gonna go back to Miss Witt point. That's what I just had to say that, sister, because like Bronx right now is getting Bronx has always been crazy, but like the Bronx right now is on fire with these drill rappers and these gang.
The Bronx is on fire with all these STDs. The fuck?
Well, yeah, I don't know shit about that, but I wanted to point out what Miss Witt was saying about you know, the going to a school and seeing some kids fight, and then parents ended up fighting, right? So when I was coming up, we had a community that, like, the whole strip, the whole street I lived on, and that's why I mentioned the Puerto Ricans earlier, because they were included in this. If you was outside wilding out, if you was fucking up, and your mama wasn't home, somebody else's mama was checking you.
Hell yeah.
Somebody else's mom was like, well, wait a minute, bring your ass over here. Let me holler at you for a second.
Yep. And then you tell your mama what they did when mama get back. And then both of them beat your ass again. Right.
But to Miss Witt's point, today that community doesn't exist. Like we talk on YouTube and we share ideas, and we have, maybe in a lot of cases we think alike, or we are like-minded, right? But in the neighborhoods, especially if you live in the projects, or if you live in the city, wherever you at, where
that happened where I lived at.
Nah, but I'm saying, if you live in a predominantly black area, that shit don't exist no more. So if me as a parent see somebody like bullying another kid, and I say something to that kid, you can guarantee that after I say that, that kid's parent is knocking on my door wanting to check me for talking to his kid. And I've had that happen countless times. But listen, understand,
Mike, I'm gonna tell you what's even worse. Not to cut you off, I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna tell you what's even worse. You tell the kid, I'm not even gonna talk to you, I'm gonna talk to the parent. You go talk to the parent, and they still try to get at you. What the fuck you talking to me for?
Exactly.
I ain't even talk to the kid. I'm coming straight to you. And you still acting up? The fuck?
Yeah, listen, and I think when you're in a struggle, you find a way to maneuver through that struggle. But for some of us, we feel like we made it. We're successful. We have houses, we have cars, and all of this shit. So we're not in the struggle no more, according to some people. So we no longer have to support each other. And I think that's the fucking problem.
But at the same time, Mike, I got a question for you and Miss Witt, because we just gonna show our age right now. How old were you when CPS came about? Or whatever the letters was when they first came out. How old was you when that shit came out? You wasn't born into that shit.
No, I wasn't.
You said CPS?
Whatever.
Child Protective Services.
Now, but even back in the day when it first formed.
States.
So my mom works for CPS.
Right, but when you was born, was she working? Was there ever such a thing?
Yep.
Oh wow! See,
yep.
Me and Mike.
It didn't exist when I was. It didn't exist when I was born, sister.
Right, it did not exist when I was born. When CPS first came about, I was like about 9, 10 years old.
Well, remember, I was just for clarity, I was born in 1966. Yeah,
and I was born in the 70s.
Right. So
1986.
Right. So Miss Witt, you was born into it. It just started when you came up. Like it was in the first form, like first couple of years. That shit wasn't like 100 years old. You feel me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And we also had corporal punishment when I was growing up. And the crazy thing was, I didn't think about it until I was an adult. I was like, this whole time I'm getting whoopings by my teacher. My mom worked for CPS. I don't know how I feel about that.
But listen, when I was a kid and the teacher beat my ass, my mom or my dad was coming straight after that to beat my ass too, because the teacher gonna tell them, I already told them what the fuck going on.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier. If we were on the street, on the block, you know, like we used to play football or baseball or whatever, and the girls would, you know, they would do their cheers on the sideline or whatever.
Yeah, play double dutch, yeah.
Right, double dutch, all of that. But I'm saying, like, if something jumped off, somebody got in a fight, and something happened, you know, the person that was witnessing this, the mother, not my mother, but somebody else's mother that witnessed this, would actually roll up on you, if need be, will slap the shit out you and tell you to take your ass home. And I'm telling your mother, and then when your mother came home, like you said, Shree, they would walk up as soon as they would be. Listen, everybody was in the window. Everybody played the window. So they was waiting for your mom to come home. So as soon as your mom came home, they was knocking on the door. My mother's name is Mary. Miss Mary. Michael did this, that, and the third, and I did this. And my mom would say thank you. And then when she closed the door, she would whoop the fuck out of me.
Listen, sometimes my parents would be like, come on in. You could get another ass whooping if you want to. Cause ain't nobody tell you to try to tell somebody else. Ain't nobody tell you to do the fucked up thing in the street. Ain't nobody tell this person to come get us. So all y'all, you gonna get fucked up again by all of us. Come on now.
But you know what? That goes back to what Mike was saying. Like that community, that village, it's not there anymore. Like I working in schools, I realized that, you know what, I grew up with that village. You know, there were some teachers on campus who knew me because they knew my dad, because my dad went to that school many years ago. I'm sorry, she's got Coco Melon going on in the background, y'all.
You good, sister? You good? You
But
good?
you know, and so it's like if I did anything on campus, my dad would know before I even left school. And my dad would tell my godmother, who would pick me up. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going over her house. We're gonna have fun. Next thing I know, she's like, so I heard what happened to school. So before you get home, how you want this ass whooping? Wait, what? So it was
Okay.
it was that village was there because there were like outside my mom and my dad, there were about 5 other adults checking me in the hallway. Hey, go to class. Hey. Those pants too tight. You need to start over. Whatever the case may be. And now working in schools, I'm like, I have to be their mentor because no one is telling these kids like, yo, hey, I care about you and I want you to do right in life, but I'm gonna need you to do this.
Well, look, with Miss Witt and Michael Phillips, I wanted to say this to y'all in regards to that. There's a period of time that I call the age of secrets. Okay. And a lot of us lived in the age of secrets. Now, I'm not going to speak on.
I think I know you. I think I know where you going with this, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna go fully into the age of secrets, right? What I am gonna say, I'm gonna say two things about the age of secrets. One, it allowed us to talk and sing and rhyme and code, right? That's one. And two, one of the things that broke the age of secrets was us giving our powers to other folk, to the CPS, to the police. You know what I'm saying? So there was kind of like that breakdown because nowadays everything is regulated through the school. The parent seems like they don't even have enough rights to discipline their own child.
Yeah.
Hold on, you, because now you touched on a touchy subject. So,
of course, why not?
I raised my I have 3 kids. Well, they're not kids. All of them are adults now.
Mm-hmm.
But my youngest, who's 33, I raised her.
Mm-hmm.
And when she was in school, she was a fucking handful. So she would cut up in the class, but the teacher, they had phones in the classroom, and because of my work, I worked in the area, and so it wasn't nothing for me to, swing by the school if I needed to. So what the teacher used to do, if my daughter was cutting up, she would call me on the phone, like, Mr. Phillips, your daughter's wilding out. And I'd be like, okay, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And then I could hear my daughter crying in the background because I was getting that motherfucker, like, what? So
put the fear of God in them.
Right. So then it got to a point where my daughter was wilding out to the point where I was taking shit away from her. Okay, you can't watch TV. You can't go outside. I was doing, shit that was done to me back in the day. This is what I know. So I'm using all of these tactics to take things away from her to get her to realize it, like you can't just do your own thing. You have to conform on some level.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that, but my daughter kept wilding out. So just like I was raised, I'm like, okay, well, I got to resort to the belt. Took the belt out, but I didn't. I only beat her on her legs. I didn't. I didn't. Like some wild shit was done to me back in the day. Remember, we used to have to go get the switch and all of that.
Yeah,
yeah.
Barbados, they had a rope, the rope with the little pieces sticking out of the rope.
Yeah.
And they put that in water and beat us with that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so I took the belt and I whooped her legs and all of that. And my daughter's light skinned. So she goes to school the next day. And because she's light skinned, she got bruises on her legs. And mind you, when I hit her with the belt, she had clothes on. She was clothed. So then I get a call saying, well, Mr. Phillips, Child Protective Services, whatever, we need to talk to you. I'm like, about what? And they were like, well, your daughter has bruises on her legs, this, that, and the third. So they had to come to my house. They wanted to see how we was living and all of that, right? And they was like, well, Mr. Phillips, you can discipline your child according to the law, but you can't harm your child. So if your child has bruises on her, then that's a violation of the law. You can't do that. And I said, okay, I did my piece with them. But when they left, I told my daughter, guess what? If you go to school and you wild out again, you're going to get fucked up by me. And then I'm going to call Child Protective Services myself, and I'm going to tell them to come get you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can end up in some foster family or whatever.
That's right.
But I'm going to tell them to come get you.
Right.
But you, because this is what I learned. The school is telling them, the kids, and rightfully so. I'm not mad at that, because in some cases it's real abuse.
Yes.
If you're being abused, if this is happening, you need to report that. Well, my daughter took that situation because she didn't like what happened, and she went to the nurse. The nurse reported it to CPS, and they came to my house. Okay, cool. Okay, you see how we living. She's not living in deplorable conditions. She's well taken care of. But guess what? If she wows out again in school, the same shit is gonna happen. And I will call y'all myself. I don't have to let my daughter report it. I will call you and tell you I whoop my daughter's ass because she don't have no respect for other people. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck.
Makes sense to me.
Makes sense to me too. Let me tell y'all something. In this day and age, like, I've raised mad kids. I done raised nieces, nephews, godchildren, all that, right? I done lost some kids, okay, that I personally was supposed to have. But I want to say that to say this. Most of these kids is grown, okay? And people in today's day and age have asked me what I felt about, what they call it, corporal punishment or whatever they call it.
Yes.
And I tell people this. I say, yo, I don't make threats. I make promises. Okay? I talk to these kids, see where their head is at, X, Y, and Z. If I have to tell them, yo, you act like this again, I'm going to have to pop you, guess what's going to happen? They're going to get popped. You understand? Because I made a promise to them. And a lot of times when people make certain promises and they don't come through, these kids don't trust you. They don't believe you. They don't give a fuck about you. You ain't got no integrity. You ain't shit.
And the larger picture is they have no respect for you.
Right.
Because you have to live
Mike.
what you talk about.
Exactly, Mike. So if I'm telling you that I'm gonna lick your ass up, I'm gonna light that shit up.
Hold on, sister.
Fire.
When you say lick your ass, you got to explain to people you from the Caribbean.
I'm West Indian. I'm
from
sorry.
the Caribbean,
yes.
right? So
I'm West Indian. Give you licks.
Right. So
give you licks up on your ass.
The other people.
Like beating with a switch.
Yeah, lick mean fight, basically. Yeah.
Thank you. Licks.
So I needed you to make
your
that
backside. Like
Hold
on.
Choctaw. No, CPS did not take my kids because she was not living in deplorable conditions and she was well taken care of. So yes, ma'am. CPS did not take my daughter.
Thank you, Choctaw. Thank you. That's what I mean, yo.
Yeah, but Sri, as soon as you said it, because you know how to
pause.
Yeah, they be like lick them down. I'm like, wait. Some people not gonna get that. Yeah, you already.
Thank you. Good looking out. See, this is the shit we mean right here. Oh shit! All right, the fuck.
But yeah, but to answer Choctaw's question, no, they didn't take my daughter. It wasn't not multiple kids. It was just one. I had three kids at the time, but I was raising one of them. The other ones were out of state. But I'm saying all of that to say that yes, I told my daughter, yeah, you could do that again, and you still can get your ass whooped. And then I'm gonna call them myself and tell them to come pick you up. Not playing with you.
Okay. I told my kids, you gotta earn respect, you gotta earn trust and all that. I don't trust you little boogers. I don't believe you little boogers. None of that shit. Y'all are engineered right now to learn how to manipulate and try to get the fuck over. You're not to get the fuck over on me. If I gotta knock you upside your motherfucking head,
but you know what
make
though?
sure you stay in place.
But you know what, sister? I blame us for that. Because we allowed that shit to happen. Because
and you know what? I could say that about rap music too and hip hop music. When did it go from being empowering to being enabling?
Yep. That's us. We can't listen, I hear this talk and Sri, I want to thank you for doing this panel, by the way, because I think this is very important. The conversation. I appreciate you, sister Miss Witt, because I like your perspective on this. But what I'm saying is that we've allowed shit to transpire in our community and right in front of our face, and none of us is doing shit about it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you said, like we allowed hip hop music to be one thing and then turn it into something else. And instead of us saying, wait a minute, this is not what we was in this for. We said, okay, well, I like the beat. And listen, don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not into the new hip hop necessarily, but if I hear something that, makes me say, wait a minute, I like this beat, or I like this nigga flow or something, I'm a rock with it. But understand what I'm saying is that most of the hip hop I listen to is either underground hip hop from artists that still have that hip hop influence, or old school 80s and late 80s early 90s hip hop. But understand that at the end of the day, I like music, whether it's hip hop, jazz, R&B, whatever. I like music that's empowering to our people. So when we listen to it, we hear lyrics or we hear a sound that makes us think about this represents us. I'm not with all of that misogyny and all of that, fuck bitches and get money. By all means get money, but you don't have to get money on some bullshit. There's ways to get money legally and not be a part of the bullshit, a part of the problem that we keep for some reason perpetuating.
Fact.
So I'm just saying all of that to say, listen, I love my people. Everybody ain't on the same page, and that, and I've had to accept that. But at the end of the day, like-minded people think alike. And if you're on that, if you're on that page, then you already know there's work to do, and you have a way or the ability to do that work and to put that message out there, and that's what needs to happen. Period. All of the other shit is white noise, is bullshit.
I agree. Sometimes I have to tell these young ladies, I'm like, you really wanna you wanna date a dude that pretty much says fuck bitches, get money every day. I don't get it.
Right.
I don't get it.
Right. But again, it's all part of the aura of what hip hop artists are now. Like there's this lifestyle where there's endless money, endless houses, endless cars. You can go anywhere in the world you want to, take boat cruises, yachts, whatever. Like they would accept what this dude is saying as long as they can experience that sort of lifestyle, however brief it is, because it don't last for them shorties, because you might be there 2 months, 3 months, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but eventually it's going to be another broad in your place, because they don't give a fuck about you, and they telling you they don't give a fuck about you. So what we talking about here?
Yeah, these little girls don't understand. I mainly have to advise these girls, like, you gotta know your worth around here. And I understand like the whole premise of getting money, getting out of a bad situation, because a lot of my students, the only way they're going to get out of the hood is through military or on a band scholarship,
Or hustle.
or
Yep.
sport. That's pretty much all they have. Where my husband is from, you only have a few options after high school. You can either go to college, become a teacher, or work at the catfish plant, or work at the Walmart. Those are the only options you have.
Oh shit, y'all still here?
Yo, so we ain't going nowhere. We right here.
Yo, my phone overheated. I was like, damn, I gotta get off from the computer and shit. I was like, what happened?
Hey, yo, but Miss Witt, to your point though, like where my wife is from in Louisiana, like everybody works at the plant. Even the college graduates, they work at the plant.
Yep.
Either they work at the plant or you got your own business. That's it.
Yep. Not that many options.
Yeah, so if you want options, you got to move out of where she from to to be exposed to those different options. But if you stay in Lake Charles, Louisiana, those are pretty much your options.
Yeah, and that's why I try to get, especially these high school students, I try to get them into like different summer programs and things, just so they can get outside their neighborhood for a little bit. I even tell them, like, look, there are programs that are free, and you get to stay on a college campus for a weekend. I know some of y'all want to have your own bed, your own room, a quiet place to stay for a weekend. This is your opportunity.
Hey, Shree, remember back in the day when they had the Fresh Air Fund?
Oh yeah.
Where they would send the ghetto kids up to like upstate New York somewhere, be with a white family for like the summer.
They had that in the Children's Aid Society.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
So we had that same shit.
And the Boys and Girls Club. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I also had an aunt. She wasn't really blood related, but she used to be my babysitter back in the day. So she became an aunt by
that's how you did it back in the day. They're the auntie and the uncle.
Yeah, so she had her and her husband had a house in South Jersey, close to Atlantic City. It was like Pleasantville, New Jersey, and we used to go there in the summers after the Fresh Air Fund when we got older. But yeah, that shit was that opened my eyes to a new world of like what could be, because the small radius of the South Bronx that I lived in, that's all I knew. And understand, as a kid, I was a small kid, so I used to read a lot. So I used to read about like, for example, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the author of the Sherlock Holmes books. And I was into that detective shit back then. So I used to read all of the Sherlock Holmes joints by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And I used to picture England back then at that time, riding handsome cabs and, you know, all of that, where they had the horse-driven joints. And I just pictured myself being there because it was somewhere else than where I came from. You understand what I'm saying? So as long as a kid can dream and feel like there's a world outside of where you are, and understanding that this world is bigger than where you are,
yes,
get the kids to understand that that's a big important thing.
Yes. Once upon a time, I think it was a few years ago, I had a few students who had an opportunity to go to Japan for summer, just to learn the language, live with the host family, all that stuff. And at first, they were like, "Man, come on! I'm from the hood. The hood kids don't go to no Japan." And I'm like, "Yeah, but here's the thing: you are like the language was actually offered in this school, and a few kids were actually taking it because they were like, you know, I watch karate movies and I like anime, so I guess I learned the language. So it was a full scholarship program. I had to talk to the parents about it. I had to talk to them about it, and they applied and they actually got the full scholarship. We even got the fights book for free. We were just like, I just want y'all to go, you know. And they had so much fun. It was the best time of their life. One of them even told me, like, hey, I got confused like they thought I was a basketball player, so I rolled with it. So they're all in college now, but they realize that there is a world outside of the little hood that they're from, because all they know is this is my school, this is the corner store. I might go to Louisiana to see family, but other than that, there's nothing outside of here. So the fact that these three kids from the hood went all the way to Japan, learned the language, stayed with a host family, came back, and they want to go back again. I think one went back to Italy the following year. It was crazy, but I'm just about, man, look, go experience something outside the norm.
Well, Miss Witt, I missed a lot, but you know, it's funny that you say that, because living in New York City back in the day, you really didn't have to go nowhere. Everything was a fucking bus, a subway train, a car, a taxi cab away, a walk away. Like, you can go into a whole different country. You walk 5 blocks up, you go into a whole different country here, you go into a whole different country there. But even with that, because that has kind of faded, I've noticed how important it was for people in general, especially kids, to travel. Just travel outside your shit and see what other people do. And this COVID made it even worse.
It really did.
Yo, let me say this real quick, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, Sister Shree, but one thing my daughters of the sea always tells me is that we all can't go. We all ain't built like we ain't, even though we might come from the same community, we ain't all built the same. You heard?
I can agree with that.
I used to fight. I used to fight back with her on that for a long time, but I had to accept it. She's right. We all can't go. So there's some of us that are willing to experience different things and to make changes or whatever. But then there's some of us who are confined to a 5 or 6 block radius, and that's all we know, and that's all we gonna ever know. You heard? So, and Daughters of the Sea is also from the Caribbean, and me and her had a conversation not too long ago where she said, like, she grew up in Harlem.
Right, she's from the sister. She's from the sister.
Yeah,
people love Harlemites. I spent a lot of time in Harlem. Exactly,
but what she told me is that her, as she called her nana, her grandmother, used to tell the kids that, like, the people that we are around in the projects, mind you, and y'all not like them.
Yep.
And I had to think when she initially said it, I had to think about it for a second.
Yeah, that's some West Indian shit
right there. And what I had to realize is that, listen, the American kids that were born here and raised here are fucked up. The people they came from Africa, and I'm just talking about New York. I'm not talking about nowhere else on in this United States of America. I'm just talking about New York. She was saying that her nana was like, no, we different from them. And so, you know, because I had a conversation with her about how certain Black people from across the globe don't identify themselves as Black. You know, they don't connect with Black people in America.
Pause one second, Michael Phillips, because I want you to continue, but I do want to tell you this. I was born in America. All right, I was not raised in America. And my father, every day that I lived in America, when my father was alive as a kid, would tell me, "You're not no fucking American. You're not no fucking Yankee."
Word up. And
I'd be like, "But I was born here. Me ain't business. You is not no fucking Yankee." You understand me? Every day that I was staying here until I went right back to either Barbados or Guyana.
But I guess but I guess what I'm saying is, and that's real shit what you just said, sister. But what I'm saying is that having this conversation with Dots, she was talking about what her nana told them as kids, like, we different from them people. And she was talking about other Black people, mind you. And initially I was like, wait, what? How are y'all different? But then I thought about it. Like, for example, if you have, it's the same thing in the Black community that we grew up in America. If you lived on a block and your mother raised you a certain way, but then you have other Black people in your same building on the same block raising their kids differently, my mother would say the same shit to me. When she first said it, it took me off for a second, like, wait, what are you talking about? But then when I thought about it, we do that shit to each other. Like, hold on. I don't want my kids raised like this. If you accept this shit in your household, then I would tell my kids, stay away from you and your people.
Facts.
Even though we all the same people, but I don't want my kids exposed to that type of shit.
Yep.
And that's what Dots was talking about.
And on the flip side, my moms would be like, "We don't live like the Cosby Show. We ain't the fucking Cosby Show. So stop thinking shit is going to be."
Nah, and we not. But the core value. But the point was the core values are there, and that's what I want to relay to you, to you know, in your upbringing. And then when you become an adult, I want you to understand that I gave you these values, and I want you to always remember them and respect it. That's it.
So the question that I'm gonna have for y'all is, where did the disconnect come from where a lot of these kids it's hard to ask.
Hold on. No, I know where you're going. I'm gonna answer the question before you finish it. This is my perspective. I would love to hear Ms. Witt's perspective on it, but this is my perspective. We've been in this country for centuries, right? But we didn't come here willingly. Most of us. Some of us did, but a lot of us that are considered what do they call it now? Because we were ADOS at one time. Now they calling them something else. I don't
even know, baby.
I can't keep up. I can't keep up with the characterizations or the names. But what I'm telling you is that us that were born here and don't know anything else but this country, what I would tell you is that, again, we had a system in place that seemed to work for us as Black people. At some point in time, we became so Americanized that we vaccinated with the system, and we wanted to be just like these white people are who've been here when they invaded this place. Right? So we want to be just like them now. I don't know why, because our people at some point in time laid some shit down for us and they were life lessons that we could apply to our lives moving forward, but somehow we forgot that. And I'm saying, when I say we, I'm saying the vast majority. I'm not saying all of us, but I'm saying the vast majority. And that's a problem. So then the question becomes, how do we get it back? And I don't know how that happens.
Miss Witt?
I think the disconnect comes from we're not being honest with each other, and we're not willing to take that criticism of we fucking up as people. And I can only I've only been a parent for my going on 4 years now, and I'm learning that I had to step away from my kid. She's doing too much. I'm sorry. So I think the disconnect is we're not being honest with each other when it comes to our kids and our communities. Some of the things are our fault, and we were lax in a lot of areas, especially when it comes to bringing up kids. For like earlier, we talked about the music. My stepdaughter is 12 years old. I had her listen to Kids Bop until she was about 8. Because I'm like, girl, you're not listening to this music. I'm sorry. I can listen to it, but you can't. It's hard for me to really talk about what the disconnect is because I don't even know where to begin, honestly. I don't. I just know that as an adult, I feel that I have a responsibility to do better and pass that on to the younger generation so they can do better. The disconnect, again, I really think is that we're not honest with each other when it comes to a lot of things in our community. So, like, we're talking about it, we're being honest, but I think generally as a whole, there are some things that we really need to sit down and talk about.
Well, that's kind of the point, I think, Ms. Witt, is that conversations like these, like we have these on YouTube, but are we having these conversations where we live at? Like around the people we live around. That's the key. Because
I was gonna say that's where the Age of Secrets come in.
Yep.
Because the Age of Secrets, ain't nobody had these type of conversations on the back end or on the front end. And now these conversations are happening on the front end, and we might need more of it to happen on the back end, in the privacies, not just on YouTube or, watch a TV show about it or some extra shit,
But listen, but one thing I will say is that I appreciate, listen, Miss Witt, you already know I fuck with Shitty Grain and all of them. So we could talk about the fuck shit and laugh about that. And that's a relief for me. But at the end of the day, there's some real shit going on. And so, like what we doing right now, I also appreciate this.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a give and take. Like, we can be involved in some fuckery just for levity or just we all, I don't know, we all have different forms of employment or whatever, and so we all go through shit during our work week, but sometimes we need a break, and so we hear shit and we laugh about it, and that's needed too. But at the end of the day, we have to be as it relates to whether it's our kids or just neighbors, or if they're us, if they come from us, we need to be aware of what's happening. Like, I guess what I'm saying is that getting older, I always wanted to be involved. Whatever community I lived in, I felt like as a Black man, I wanted to be involved in my community. And what I'm finding is that a lot of people, Black people I'm talking about, could care less about being involved. They just want to live, right?
Well,
Mike,
let me say this real quick, because I was about to say that earlier to Miss Witt. With the age of secrets now, the people that suffer the most is us ourselves, because we can't even ask ourselves these questions and handle what we ourselves cannot do. Michael Phillips, you made the choice to dive into yourself, to have this greater understanding. Miss Witt, same. Auntie Chalk, same. I'm going to assume everybody listening is the same. You feel me? But there's a lot of people that don't even want to make them choices. They ain't doing that. They don't.
Sister Choctaw, what up?
Yes, sir. First of all, hi. How you doing, Miss Witt? I'm back again, Sharice. First of all, I want to say to you, Brother Michael, that was never intended to be a dig. I know you're way too polished.
No, I never took nothing you said.
I know you didn't. But I just wanted to say, I know you're way too polished to have anybody come in your home and catch you on any type of anything, because you always keep it together. I had to put that out there. Everybody might not know what my comment may have meant.
I called it,
but okay. Just making sure. Now, I wanted to. Okay, good. I wanted to address the question you had, Sister Cherie, about the disconnect. And I have a couple of theories. Number one, like you all were talking about earlier, it no longer takes a village to raise a child. If you discipline a child that does not belong to you, you will most definitely get smoke from the parents. That's an issue, because we can't be everywhere all the time, and we can't watch and make sure that everybody's doing the right thing. So that's mistake number one. Number two, I blame it on our governments stopping programs. We used to have free lunch. We used to have parks. We used to have activities, and we used to have a lot of things growing up that these kids don't have anymore. And the thing about it is, they spend a whole lot of time inside, in front of the television, plugged into some kind of electronic, some kind of game, with the phone in their face, whatever it may be. Kids are getting fat, greasy, lazy. They doing the most because they don't have the things that we had when we were children. And the third thing, that I think the disconnect comes in. Grandmothers are now in their 30s. Okay, you got grandmothers that are out here twerking. You feel me? So that's a big part of the divide. The elders held the knowledge. The elders held the secrets. The elders held the all of the things that needed to be passed forward to these children. We don't have that anymore. The grandmothers is going. They dropping the kids, the grandkids off at daycare so they can go to the club. Come on, somebody! I know I'm telling the truth.
When you
Hey,
say
You are.
hold on, Choctaw.
Yes, sir, bro.
You just struck a nerve right there. So let's talk about it for a second.
Okay.
So the first point you made, shit has changed. Shit has changed in this country as in regards to black people because we have allowed it to change. And I'm saying that because most of us aren't involved in the political process.
Right.
So if we consider ourselves to be American and a part of this system, then we have to participate in the process. A lot of us don't. But
wait, bro. Can I cut you off real quick?
Go ahead.
Where can I go to donate? Because here's the thing. You got a person running around here talking about they're gonna feed the homeless, clothe the homeless, and it's a scam. You got people running around here talking about we taking up money for this local cheerleader thing we're about to start. The money is gone. You understand? I don't trust anybody enough to put my hard-earned money into somebody's hands and say, yes, I want to help the children. And I honestly don't have time to do it myself. I'm still working. So, there's so many things that contribute to the community breakdown.
Okay. Okay, so let me address that. Because I was talking about the political process, but let's address that.
Okay.
So from my upbringing, right? My father was, for lack of a better term, was a piece of shit.
All right.
Let's be real with that. My mother was responsible for me and my brother's upbringing, and she is, because she's still living, an amazing woman. But let's be clear that when I became a teenager at some point, I don't remember, 14, 15, whatever, I was dealing with shit in the streets. I wasn't no street dude, but nonetheless, I was dealing with street shit. And I'm like, my mother don't know what I got to deal with out here. And so my mom telling me, listen, don't do this, don't do that. At some point, I'm like, well, she don't know what she's talking about because she's not a man and she don't know what I have to deal with out here. So I started doing shit that kind of bucked against what my mother was telling me. And my mother at some point was like, okay, well, you seem to know what you're doing. So I'm not sure what your plans are, but whatever you're doing, you can't do it here. You got to get the fuck up out of here. That's when I joined the military. So what I'm trying to explain to you is that I was no street dude, but I was in the streets though. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was no criminal nigga. I was no gangster, none of that.
Right.
But I was in the streets nonetheless.
Right.
Because it was around me. But I went to the military and, learned some shit that I didn't learn from the neighborhood and all of that. I'm saying all of that to say that at some point in time, when the family is divided, and when I say divided, when there's no father and mother involved, as a child, you're already behind the 8 ball. These white kids, where I live at, let's say this, because I understand there's trailer parks and all of this other shit in the Midwest and whatever. I don't know nothing about that. But I'm telling you where I live at, I see white parents, white fathers, and white mothers together with their kids, involved in functions and all of that. And what I'm saying is that if there's a divide in the family as a child, you see that, whether you maybe you don't understand it, but you see it. And as you grow, you kind of understand what that was or what you experienced and or whatever. And so what I'm saying, I use myself as an example of when I figured I came into manhood. I wasn't a man, but I thought I was a man, and I was acting as if I was that, going against my mother and all of that. But I'm saying all of that to say that it takes, going back to what Miss Witt was saying, the community aspect is very important. If there's no community and then the family dynamic isn't intact, then the daughter or the son is going to move accordingly based on their experience in the streets. Would y'all disagree with that?
I agree.
I can agree with that. I have a quick example. So my stepdaughter, my bonus baby, you know, her father, my husband, and her mom, they got together in college and everything, and they broke up all the other stuff. So I'm all about, okay, well, she's she's between two households. You got to make this as normal as possible for her because she's very confused as to why I got to go here and I got to go here, or he's not doing those things. So I make it known to my husband. I'm like, hey man, not that he has this issue, but it's like as dad that is, and your daughter is not living with you, you gotta be on that heavy. And I would tell her mom, I'm like, hey, whatever needs to be done, so that way she feels she is in the most loved environment ever. That's whatever we need to do, let's do that. So if you and I need to converse on school schedules and school supplies, all that stuff, she needs to know that she has a village backing her, you know. So even when my husband can't step in, she got me. What's up? So
And that's what it is. That's real shit.
Now, I want to say something in regards to what Choctaw said, and Michael Phillips was kind of going there. I'm sorry, I was looking at my other phone. Michael Phillips was kind of going there, but it's definitely based on the comment that I put up. It's a question of freedom versus security, because when we talk about government influence, you know, I'm taking it back to like social media, and not only social media, but all forms of technology. Because
Sister Shree,
I
just need clarity on the question.
Yes.
When you say freedom, I need you to define freedom and define security.
I'm about to do that.
Okay, thank you. I need that.
All right. So let me draw a parallel here. We all, even Miss Witt, who was born in the mid-'80s, came from a place where there were no cameras.
Yep.
Real cell phone. No internet like that. You know what I'm saying?
We had AOL.
Okay, you had AOL. And we come from
a place COINTELPRO.
Right. We had Word Up. We had fucking Beretta and Matlock and all them motherfuckers, Inspector Gadget with the fucking magnifying glass looking on the floor. Okay, that's what the fuck we had. We didn't have all this technology, right? We didn't have all this robot vacuums and smart TV and all this other fly shit that is supposed to keep us secure. We ain't have no Google Nest and Google Maps and all that fly shit. We had none of that. So even though it seems like we got a whole lot more freedom, we are releasing certain freedoms in order to have security. Look at these vaccine mandates that people got to go through. It's not a law. But in order for you to feel secure, you got to give up a certain freedom and allow somebody to jab you, but God only knows the fuck what, in order to feel secure. And your government aids and abets in that heavily.
And this goes back to my point about us being more Americanized and more Western thinking than
Right.
we used to be back in the day.
And
That's
that shit
the
is
problem.
worldwide now. That shit is worldwide now.
Yes, it is.
But can I-
Americanized kind of thing. It's worldwide now. It's not just in America no more.
But can I just say, when I was speaking of the government programs, I was talking specifically about the playgrounds that we had, the activities that people came out to do with the kids at those playgrounds, the free lunch programs, the free field trip programs. That's the only aspect that I was talking about. The government was funding that I see as that was a benefit at that time.
But peep this. In New York City, there are such programs that do these things, right? There are programs up here that are beautifying the parks and giving us more green area and trees and shit. And when they build up these buildings, they add in a couple of this and that and the third for the kids and bloop de bloop. But now there's so many cameras watching all the kids, taking your information. You on the phone and you talking on the phone, and the ads come up for your kids. They watching this. They watching. I mean, I know I'm going conspiracy theory here.
I get what you're saying. I think what you're saying is free, and what my sister Choctaw is saying is two different things. But I think it goes back to the community aspect for me, is that if we want our kids to experience things as a community, I'm talking about Black people here, then we need to make that happen. We
right, and
we should not be relying on some other outside group to make that happen. We should be making that happen for ourselves.
Right.
And I think the problem is
we don't trust each other enough either.
Right. And that's the problem. There's no sense of community.
I did touch on that.
Go ahead, sister.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was saying that I did touch on that. I don't know exactly who to help donate to, but at the same time, I wasn't talking about being dependent on these programs. We were talking about where the divide came in. I remember when I was younger and I was a latchkey kid, and we didn't go home and hang out with the gangs and things like that. We didn't do that kind of stuff.
Right.
We all hung together. We were doing activities in the park, and there were people coming out to show us how to make a painting, showing us how to draw, showing us how to do different arts and crafts, and then taking us like downtown, giving us a free ride, taking us to the library and discussing different books to take out. We also had a free lunch program. My mother would never let us eat from it because she was like, I can afford, my mother and father were together then, they're still together to this day, but they were like, I can afford to make sure that you get lunch. So when those kids eat lunch, you come home and you get lunch from here because there's somebody out there that needs it more than you do.
Sister Choctaw.
Yes, sir.
My mother was the same.
Yes.
My mother was the same way too.
We couldn't eat no free lunch, nothing, breakfast, lunch, none of that.
Right.
My mom wasn't having that.
Right. I never even got a school lunch ticket until I started buying them from kids with my allowance, because it was, I could, it's like a lunch food stamp. You know what I'm saying?
Choctaw, the only reason why I got it was because in 6th grade, they decided that everybody gets it, whether you wanted it or not. So I had to give mine away.
I wish my kids, I really wish, I wish my kids would have, would have got it. That would have saved me, $2 every single day. But, in the long run, my parents were more like, I know these neighbors. I know some of them don't work. I know some of them don't have a father in the home. Hell, some of them didn't even have a mother.
Again,
Hold on,
sister.
hold on. I
Again,
got a
sister.
question for all of you.
A
Hold
sense
on.
of community that
Right, but
doesn't
hold on a
exist
second,
anymore.
Michael Phillips. I got a question for all of you because I know
Okay.
Michael Phillips is gonna know what I'm asking. Do y'all have a such thing as a middle class or upper middle class in your in your society today?
Not
No.
anymore. Not today.
No.
Nah, everybody's
Yeah, the
struggling in
have
some way.
you have
Okay.
the haves and the have-nots. And as a matter of fact, I was actually thinking this morning about doing a video on why I no longer eat organic. I can't afford it, and I make
Exactly.
a decent
Yeah.
Yeah,
salary.
it's expensive.
Yo,
I
Thank
make a
you.
decent salary.
that's all.
You know.
I
Yes,
was talking
sir.
to my wife recently,
Facts.
and I was like, in order to eat healthy and to live that type of life where you say you want whatever you put into your body, you want it to be some official shit, you got to spend
Right.
money to do that.
Exactly.
It's
Hold on,
easy.
y'all.
It's easy to eat unhealthy. It's
It
easy. It don't
is.
cost shit.
Okay, let me tell y'all something. I got approached by a yoga instructor, and I will say that he's white for a reason. Okay, and he offered me to be an ambassador for the superfoods. Okay, you know, like the powders and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, "Oh, check the website. We'll be back." I said, "All right, let me check the website." So the owner and the CEO of the company said something to the effect on the website that good food and organic food is not expensive. This is not expensive. Healthcare is expensive. All these other things is expensive, right? So the guy was like, "Oh, what you think of the website?" And I had to respond to him like, "Yo, your CEO comes off a little bit elitist because the type of people that I deal with and where I come from, organic food is expensive as fuck, and good food is expensive as fuck."
It is.
Okay, and that's why people can't eat it or don't eat it.
Exactly.
So
Hey,
what
yo,
I'm saying is not
unless you got your own land and you growing your own shit,
exactly.
you have to
Yep.
go somewhere to purchase this shit.
And you know what?
Yep.
Thank y'all, because as soon as I'm done rolling this up, I'm gonna start sowing these fucking seeds and putting in these onions in this soil and growing these shits. Stop
Mhm.
playing. I got my apple seeds and my orange seeds. I'm putting them in some soil today. Fuck the bullshit. Thank y'all for reminding me. This might turn into a gardening video, y'all. I don't give a fuck. And y'all might not see a motherfuck thing neither. Y'all might just see my bitch while I do everything I need to do. Okay? Go ahead,
But
y'all.
you know, and another point is that, you know, when I was buying organic, unless you're gonna sit there and eat that shit today and all of the rest of it tomorrow, it's going bad on the third day.
Well,
So, I
see,
mean,
that's what organic do, though, Choctaw. And that's what
exactly.
people don't realize.
Exactly.
Organic is organic. You gotta eat.
Hold,
Right.
hold on. So Choctaw, I need
Mhm.
you to break that down for the people in the back that don't understand what that means. Why does the organic shit go bad more quickly than, let's say, the store-bought shit? Can you break
Okay.
that down real quick?
Yes, sir. I can say this. I can go into a store and pay $5.99 for a small carton of strawberries that are organic, or I can go and pay $2.99 for the same amount, which have preservatives and all kind of bullshit on it. But they're gonna last me longer if I bring home the organic, and I don't consume those. I mean, every last one of them in today or by tomorrow, by the third day they're gonna have mold and all the rest of the stuff on it. Whereas on my budget, you know, and the way that I eat, if I can eat those strawberries for 3 or 4 days, that was the $2.99 well spent, because I'm wasting it with this organic stuff. Yes, it is a poison to the body, but you also have to know, you know, how you can get most of it off. You'll never get it all off, but I feel confident in my essential oil and vinegar mix to soak and clean as much of it off as I can. But I mean, I know there's still other stuff that remains, but economically, It works for me to eat the bullshit.
Auntie Chalk, I want to talk about that real quick because you just brought up an excellent point for me. Okay, hey G5, how you doing? Now here's the thing that Black people need to share more of and have more community to fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like during this whole COVID time, how many of us heard about the power of elderberry or the power of this and that to help you with jamma and this and that? You feel me? Like them is the kind of things that we need to be spreading, and we not spreading. How the fuck do you grow something in your little house? You ain't got a whole bunch of house. You want to grow like a tomato plant or some shit. How do you get this shit together? Like, even though Choctaw, she not buying organic no more, she know that there's a natural way to clean off these fucking most of the pesticides. You know what I'm saying? So you can be as healthy as you can eating the motherfucking shit. You know what I mean? So these are the things that we should be spreading, but motherfuckers ain't interested in that. They interested in the escapisms and the propagandas and all that extra shit. Going back to Will Smith.
That's true.
So it's like a whirlwind circle. You know what I'm saying? Like freedom. And when I say freedom versus security, it's just a matter of the information that you know and the information that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's looking at the surface shit, they only gonna know so much information. And individually, we still have to dive in to do a little bit more. And a lot of people may not want to do that, or they can't handle it, or whatever the fuck the case may be.
Right.
Well, yeah, I gotta jump down. Baby wants to go to the park, so we going to the park.
Now.
Have a great day, Miss
Thank you, y'all too. This is a good bill. This is a good bill, so I'll catch y'all around.
Okay, thank you so much for coming. Take care.
Absolutely. Bye, y'all.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
yo, Sister Slee, you need to do this more often, sister. Real shit.
Like this, though?
Yes, because the smaller the club, the bigger the party. That's a fact. And we can knock off these ideas, you know, when we were talking about the essential oils and the vinegar, and you know how to soak your vegetables and fruits and clean them, you know, as well as you can. You know, I'm willing to get up here with you and talk about stuff like that.
Okay, I gotta find time because y'all know I'll be on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, and I can do some going live too. And Brother Michael, everybody, just about everybody respects you in this sector. I mean, you should hit that live button too. You know, you are.
Hey, listen.
Sir, can I finish giving you your kudos, please?
I'm sorry.
I need to tell you that you know, you are amongst other men. But I want to let you know that you are one of the most poised, one of the most well-spoken, you know, one of the most willing to give advice, older people. I'm in your age group, so I'm saying I'm using older people, but you are one of the more respected, and I need you to you know, get out there. Don't just wait and get on somebody else's panel. Start your own panel and talk your shit, because you got a lot of good stories. You're well connected in this community, and you know, we can tell well connected in your community, even your old community. So I mean, you got some stories to tell as well, and I think that it's refreshing to see someone who is acting their age and not their shoe size. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Sister Choctaw, I really appreciate what you just said. And there's another sister, and I'm just gonna say her name. I hope she don't get mad at me. But Daughters of the Sea, what you just said, she said the same exact thing to me. And I appreciate what you're saying. I don't know if I have the patience for this. You know, when you get
the Job, Michael Phillips, stop playing.
No, yeah, I'm talking about regards to to the bullshit that comes with being on social media. And I can come up here and talk about the same shit we talking today, and there's people. I listen, I'm making excuses, and I'm not going to.
You are.
Yeah, I'm making excuses. So I'm not going to do it.
We tuned you out. But if you're gonna quote Daughters of the Sea, she also talks about her tribe.
Yes.
Only your tribe is gonna be interested in what you have to say.
Right.
So, oh Lord. But only your tribe will show up and come and see you, and you know what I'm saying. So don't worry about any of the rest of that. I think part of what we really want to put on YouTube, we let fear hold us back. I mean, not just so much that we want to hear every detail about the other stuff. But, it is that fear of somebody going to do this, somebody going to say that, because I have it too. You know what I mean? But I also know that only people from my tribe will be interested in the things that interest me.
I get you, sister. And I had to catch myself because, again, I was making excuses. But at the end of the day, I agree with you. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to talk it, I got to live it. So I agree with you. And I'm going to figure out how I want to do it and whatever. But yeah, I'm going to make it happen.
Okay.
But I definitely appreciate your words. But I also wanted to say to Sister Shree that this topic is like, this is the type of shit I like addressing. This is the type of shit I want to talk about. And unfortunately, you don't see these type of conversations happen. I mean, I'm sure they exist, but I'm just talking about in the immediate YouTube circle. I don't see a lot of people talking about this. So I just appreciate Shree for even having this conversation. But on top of that, I hope if we listen, this is what I want to see. If we're talking about these type of things, I would like us to be more engaged as far as what what the solutions are and how we move forward and all of this, because it's one thing to talk about some shit, but it's another thing to actually make something happen.
Well, you know what? I want to say this much, because what I tend to do, especially with these YouTube streets here, is to try to figure out how I can better myself through all this fuck shit. What is the real issue that brings me here to learn something for myself? What's the lesson? Because every mistake is a lesson, and every lesson is a blessing, no? And we watch the mistakes of others happen, but even watching the mistakes of others, you can learn something. And that's why I call this shit navigating through YouTube streets too. Because it's great that we could talk about this here, but I'm going to bring it back to the bullshit, but not in the way that motherfuckers might think I will.
Do you? That's what's going to make your show unique. That's what's going to make your show unique. You run it how you run it, period.
Shit, no, I appreciate y'all telling me to have like topics like this, because topics like this are definitely important. I agree, but somehow, some way, we gotta bring it back to this shit, because we in this shit. You feel me?
Facts.
We in this shit, and excuse me, if we talking to the people, the fuck who's listening, some of them is in this shit.
And Shree. And here's what's important, right? Mm-hmm. So my worldview, when I was, prior to being 18, my worldview was New York City.
Yeah,
it was the Bronx and it was Harlem. And then when I went to the military, then I got a bigger worldview because I met people from different places, white people, black people, people, whatever, all over the world, you heard? And then I realized that there was some different shit going on outside of where I come from, right? And then I come to YouTube after leaving the military, and I see, even further that there's people out here who think like I do, but they have a different perspective. They come from a different place and all of that. And so I think what's very important is that us as people, and Choctaw know that I am a black man in America. And Choctaw is and you know what, Choctaw, we got to talk about that California thing too that just happened as it relates to the foundational Americans. I would love to have a conversation about that. But I'm saying all of that to say, however we identify ourselves in this country, at the end of the day, we are black people in America. Again, however we identify ourselves, but at the end of the day, we are still family. We're still brothers. We're still sisters. And
absolutely,
that should not change. We should not be falling out because we identify this, like I don't appreciate you identifying yourself that way, so therefore I'm not going to respect you. Fuck all of that.
Right.
So it's a question of respect.
Family.
So it's a question of respect.
Yes, we
That's
all
the
family.
problem with everybody, no respect.
And that's the problem. That's
it
the
is.
problem. Because Choctaw know since I've been aware of her, and since I've been aware of like where her name comes from and all of that. Matter of fact, I think one time I was about to address something, and then I said, you know what, sister? I know how you feel about this, so I'm gonna fall back. So whenever Choctaw is around, I'm not gonna come at her crazy or come at, and by the same token, she's never come at me crazy. So
and never will, because of that respect level. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And
I hold you in high regard. I would never disrespect you.
Right, but I hold you in high regard. I hold Shri in high regard. I hopefully Bruja in high regard. Right. I hold all you sisters in high regard. You understand? The sisters, this actually out here talking that real shit. Fuck all of that. Fuck all of the. Listen. I don't hear Lady La or Candy talking about this type of shit. I fucks with them no less than I fuck with you sisters. They still my sisters. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a different side of YouTube that we all fuck with. We all enjoy. And when it's some shit jumping off, we right there.
Right.
So just like we talking this shit here, we right there when they talking that shit over there. But at the end of the day, those are my sisters, and I love them dearly.
So here's what I want to say to all of that. So basically, the issue of respect, what it truly is, what it looked like, the lack thereof, or whatever, is a human condition. It's an individual issue, and it's a society issue. It's an issue that permeates throughout everything. These YouTube streets, outside the YouTube streets, every facet of our lives, this issue of respect. Because if there was a certain amount of respect, for yourself and for others, half of this shit probably wouldn't be happening. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Any level
absolutely.
The wars, all that fly shit. You know what I mean? Because somebody want to say that they way is better than they way. And we're going to stomp you in your neck until, you understand that. Blah, blah. X, Y, and Z, I got my pride, you know what I'm saying? And and the third. So it permeates through everything. And I agree. Continue. Y'all continue. I had to get that out. Y'all continue.
I agree.
Shit, big up people.
Yep. Go ahead, Brother Mike.
Yeah, you gonna say something, Mike?
Nah, hold on. Give me a second, real quick.
Okay,
Okay.
because I was about to say this. Bringing it back to these YouTube streets. I'm not about flip floppery, so to speak, right?
Right.
However, I like who I like, and I got
Right.
a reason to like them or not to like them at the moment. You feel me?
Right.
What I will say is that if I like you and I like you, I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? I can't, I'd rather be neutral on certain shit
Right.
than, especially if I'm cool with you and cool with you. Now, if you
Right.
talking about somebody I ain't cool with, who gives a fuck? Right?
Right. Right. I understand that.
But a lot of people, they get on this, if you over here, you can't be over here. If you over here, you can't be over here.
Right.
And they got funny fuck shit over here sometimes. Why I can't go over there and listen to what the fuck on?
Well, I mean, basically all that means is, don't drop down in my chat, because what I've discovered is no one can fully tell you can never be over here. I mean, YouTube is, it's gonna be there. So, but all they're telling you at that point is don't drop down in my chat. Don't support me. Don't hit the like. Don't do any of that.
Ain't that insecurity also a lack of respect?
Absolutely, absolutely. But I mean, that's each individual's hang up. Some people be like, if you're over here, don't never come over here. And it's like, yeah, okay. That means I won't hit the like. I won't drop down. I won't support. I won't hit your Cash App. I won't do any of that. So that's all that says to me. But people who say, hey, we all grown. I don't care where you go. You know what I'm saying? That's where I feel most at home at. That's where I like to be, and I like to be where I like to be. Everybody don't like the people I like, but if there's something over there I want to hear, I mean, it's people that I like, and I be like, well, I don't want to hear this today, and I'll leave. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of just like scrolling through the channels on your television. You go to somebody's channel. If it's something that's going to hold your attention, you listen, and you may become interactive with it. Or, sometimes you just turn the channel and be like, I'll check back on the next episode.
Now, Choctaw.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to call you Auntie Choctaw right now.
Okay.
Right? Been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So you seen the run-ins?
I have.
Now, in light of the recent events, surrounding trolling and not trolling and superb trolling and idiot box trolling and all this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all the players in the game. I only want to focus on one thing.
Okay.
Trauma bonding.
Mm-hmm.
Trauma bonding. And for me, that was like the key in all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gang of trauma bonding.
But here's the thing. You got strangers trauma bonding with other strangers. That's why it doesn't work. These are not people that you know well enough to look in their face, tell when they're lying, look at their body language. You know what I'm saying? I can't really trauma bond with someone that I really don't know. I don't do it a lot with people that I actually do know in real life. You understand what I'm saying? So, that's something that I learned early on. I'm not going for a ride with these people because they want to talk about, things for sympathy. Because I'm going to tell you something. This is not the platform to tell your business. It's just not. It's not. And if that's something that you decide that you want to do, you want to, be transparent, and you want to tell every single damn detail, then expect what you get. you know, and that's just how I feel about it. Expect whatever it is comes your way. You know, people gonna be talking shit. They're gonna be making phone calls. They're gonna be pointing this, that, the third out.
But even Auntie Choctaw, I look even beyond that. Like, what is the reasoning for them to put out their business like this, or to be so addicted to social media that they have to do this type of shit? They have
You
to
know what,
live
Sharice?
this kind of life. If it ain't that they feeding off of trauma bonding, they feeding
No,
off
let me tell.
our emotions and reactions to the fuck shit.
That's true. But let me tell you something. The only way that you have all day, all night to make videos, to be on your community wall every 10 minutes is you're letting something else lack. And you let something else lack so much behind your addiction that your children got taken away. Period. That is my total opinion on all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot spend 24/7 looking at your phone and you have children running around. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. When you clean up one mess, you got to clean up another mess. When you make one meal, you got to start in the next meal. It's so much to raising children, and you know now, which was
Raising
something that I
children,
could
building yourself up at the same time, not destroying yourself.
exactly, and I just feel like once there's a point in no return, there is no more sympathy. There is no more. I need money for this. I need money for that. Look. It's a wrap. You have exposed yourself like an X-ray. That's all I can say. I see right through your bones. Period. And that's what it is.
But there's a lot of folk on here like that, and they
But
still.
not to the point. Not to the point where they feel that they have to tell everything and try to get sympathy. I've seen blogs.
Yeah, to the point where they tell you what they want to tell you and get the sympathy that they want. Hell yeah, I'm shocked. Whether they lying or not, whether it's about somebody else or not. Come on now.
Hey,
That's
yo, I'm
true.
back. I had to take a call real quick. But I don't know what y'all talking about, so I'm just listening.
Okay. But well, basically, Brother Michael, what we were talking about is what I was talking about. I know she's trying to push me into another corner because she don't want me to break down the specifics, but I'm gonna do it anyway. What we were talking about is if you could spend 24 hours a day on social media, and I don't care if it's YouTube, Facebook, Tinder, Twitter, whatever the fuck you do, if you can do it for 24 hours a day, then something in your life is not being taken care of. Okay. And you definitely cannot do it with 3, 4 kids in the house. That was what I was saying. At some point, you have to say, I have to let go, and even me, I have to not be on social media sometimes so I can go cook a meal, or I could take a bubble bath, or I could vacuum the floors, wash the clothes. I have things that I have to do that
I'm
I
about to
could
find
never.
something to eat right now, y'all. Go ahead.
I didn't hear. What'd you say, Sheree? Say it again, Sheree.
I said I'm about to find something to eat right now. Y'all go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, but what I'm saying is something is lacking. If you have time to just do this all day, every day, and subsequently, a certain person let it get so bad where the house was in deplorable conditions, and the children were removed from the household. Period. That will never happen with somebody who does not have a social media addiction. It just won't
Well,
happen.
well, I would say this, sister, that I don't think it's necessarily social media addiction. Certain people talk about things like narcissism, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they explain to you what a narcissist is. And at some point in time, you have to ask yourself, is this person that's explaining narcissism to me, are they a narcissist? You understand what I'm saying?
How else could they know so intently?
Exactly. And so my point is, social media could be a part of that, but the social media is only a venue to expose or express your narcissism. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like people in your real life ain't really trying to hear that shit. So you can go somewhere else and let it go. Let it fly.
Right. Be whoever you want to be. That's the yes.
Yep. So I think that's, that's pretty much what it is. But, I'm not, listen, at the end of the day, regardless of how I feel about certain people, I'm going to never bash them publicly or say negative shit about them. But at the end of the day, I recognize shit for what it is, period.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you'll never hear me say someone's name unless, for example, a couple of weeks ago, I think I was on Ari's platform and I was addressing a brother in regards to someone a female that we're all familiar with. I addressed that brother, not knowing who he was, but understanding who he was in that sister's life and addressing him. But, outside of people that we know, I'm not going to try to come up here and embarrass anyone. Because at the end of the day, like we was talking about community, this YouTube thing, that's a community also. And so Shri Bad, Choctaw Chiefters, Lady La, Daughters of the Sea, whoever. I whatever I have to say, if I have something negative to say, it's going to be behind the scenes. It's not going to be in a live like we doing right now.
Right. I understand that.
Yeah, I don't move like that.
I understand that. Before you came back, we were just talking about like how the traffic is flowing in the YouTube streets. And I was just basically saying that, if you have time to, like, I can't even catch up on everything that's going on because I just don't have that extra time. You understand? I have time today because I've spent most of my week making sure that, the meals are cooked, the clothes are washed, the floors are mopped, the vacuum has been run. I have other things that I have to do. But when I have, a little free time, you will see me and you will hear me. I can be there, but I can't do this 24/7 because if I do, then something in my real life that has to take a back seat, and I'm not willing to do that. I'm not.
And that's real shit because again, because we all have real lives, supposedly. And when you have a real life, you have responsibilities, you have things you have to take care of.
Exactly.
So there's no way you could be up here on listen, even if I'm tapped into somebody's live, I may not be able to respond or speak. I may be at work and I got my earbuds in them and I'm just listening, but I'm working. You heard?
Right.
But at the end of the day, and for example, I told Buddy Lee, I said, listen, when you do your Friday night F shit Friday, I'm listening the whole time you go live, but I'm at work when you go live, so I can't respond, but understand I'm listening. But I'll call Buddy like after the fact and say, yo, like I like that you said this or you did that or whatever. But and it's the same with like Daughters of the Sea. Sometimes she hits me up and she was like, bro, you want to go live? And I'm like, yo, I can't right now, but I said if you go live, I'm listening. And when I can go live with you, I'll tune in. My point is, like, I support a lot of my people on this platform, especially if you talking some real shit. I support all that.
Right.
I don't support no fuck shit. I mean, and when I say fuck shit, I'm talking about trying to take somebody down. If we talking about clowning or what they call it,
Roasting.
rolling or roasting. Yeah, if it's that, like I'm gonna get a laugh out of all of that. But I'm saying when you're talking about taking somebody down or just disrespecting their whole family, their kids, and all of that, I'm not with none of that shit.
Right.
Now hold on, just to clarify, Michael Phillips, I was talking about the reasons for people to have these social media addictions and do what they do, and I felt like trauma bonding had a lot to do with, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck?
Okay, so hold on. Trauma bonding is like a new term for me, so I'm gonna need y'all to really help me understand what that means, because I don't know really how to quantify or identify what's trauma bonding.
Okay, for example, let's just say you were in a bad car accident and you lost the arm, right? Okay. And I was in a bad car accident and I lost the arm. So when I tell you my story of how I lost my arm, you become closer to me because of the fact that we've been through the same exact type trauma. Okay. So
better yet, sorry to cut you off, but better yet, you messed up your arm and I messed up my leg, and we could still bond because we broke something.
Right. But I'm saying something that's very traumatic that happens the same way for the both of us. Then we become close because we've bonded. You know, and
okay.
Go ahead.
So is that a sympathy play? Because I'm like, as it relates to social media, how does that relate?
I can answer that.
Go ahead.
There's certain content creators out there who always have something going on, always have a story.
Right.
And they keep their subscribers not because you know, they keep their subscribers because of these traumas. Mm-hmm. I went through that too. Let me send you a couple dollars.
Right.
Okay. All right. I see where you're going.
And the bigger the trauma or the bigger the spectacle, the more someone will connect. Not because, oh, this is just entertainment and I'm just going to laugh at you, or I'm just going to look at you like whatever, but because I'm forming a bond with you based on either the victim role, or even if you're not on the victim role, you feel me?
Indeed.
Even if you're not spouting the sympathy or the victim role, because I could give Nature Boy as an example of that. All this three God, this whole shtick.
Hey, yo, hold. Wait. Huh? The fact that you mentioned this bum ass nigga, regard or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about this? His latest, like his interviews with Sarnetta and all of this recent shit.
Michael Phillips, hold the phone. This morning before I came on live, this motherfucker has a new queen and it's a transsexual, and he calls them 8. Okay? Stop playing with me.
Well, I can tell you that
bonding.
No, I can tell you that I do not watch him anymore because I know who he is.
I know.
No, Cherie. When I tell you that I used to work in a group home in upstate New York, close to New Jersey, he was there. And once I got my confirmation on that, I suspected it for years. But once I got my confirmation,
hold on, sister. You said upstate New York, and you said close to Jersey.
Yep.
Okay. All right. When y'all done talking, I'm gonna give the perfect example of what trauma bonding was not for Choctaw. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm just gonna say Choctaw. There's no way that he was upstate New York and close to Jersey at the same time.
That's true.
I'm kind of confused about
upstate New York is in the opposite section of New Jersey.
Hold on. Wait. Chestnut Ridge is right near.
But yeah, there's a certain way you can get to Westchester and connect to Jersey quicker than if you went through the city, though. Jersey's big as fuck.
Yes, but when I say upstate New York, I'm specifically talking about a town called Chestnut Ridge, which was right by Montvale, New Jersey. They were like 5 minutes away from each other.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I got you. I just will tell you that that's not upstate, but I get what you're saying. It's not upstate New York. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I would say I'll stop saying upstate. That's something I'm used to saying because of where it's at, but I'll stop saying that for the purpose of this conversation.
No, Chalk, you good, Chalk talk.
No, because if see,
I was just confused. I was just confused when you said that because I was like, hey, what?
Yeah, because I know you're thinking upstate as as Buffalo, as
like Buffalo, Poughkeepsie.
Right.
But there's a West New York. There's a West New York though.
Yeah. So when I say upstate, I mean further away from the city. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. So once I found out that this was one of the people that I used to work with, I couldn't watch. I couldn't watch it anymore. This person is living out their fantasies and hurting people along the way, and I'm done. I haven't watched in a long time.
Hey, Sister Shree.
Okay, hold on, Michael Phillips.
No, I just need you to drop the link again because I need to make a run. So I'm gonna I got to transfer to my cell phone.
Okay.
So just drop the link again, and I'll
because I'm about to give the example of what trauma bonding is through the internet.
Okay.
But there you go. So Auntie Choctaw knows this information, right? And because she knows this information, she could see Nature Nuts and be like, oh, I pity the boy. So let me send him some cash apps and shit and hope that he get better. Let me do this and that for him to hope he get better or whatever the case may be. Because, I knew him from when he was a kid and he was fucked up back then. And,
right.
World a better place. Okay? That's one form of trauma bonding. All right?
But I ain't going.
Right.
That's the only difference. I'm not going.
You went the other route. You was disgusted. You was like, oh, fuck this shit. I'm out.
Right.
You went the other way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly how that happened. And that was the thing that got me interested. When I first saw him, I was like, I know this kid. And a lot of people believe that I came to this sector through Nature Boy. I actually didn't. I came through like more of the magic, the manifest type sector. And from there, I was in the Kanika Jenkins investigative sector. Okay. So then, everybody at that time just kind of crossed paths, and that's how I when I saw him, I was like, I know this guy, and I haven't watched in a very long time. It's been at least a couple or a few years. And I'm over it. I'm over how he could call himself anything above, a cockroach, and people praise him and worship him and call him 3 God, 8, whatever the hell he is. Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. And I believe that the people who support Nature Boy in any form, I have distanced myself from, and I only happened to watch a part of the Sonetta interview because it was on the T. I still watch her channel every now and then, but when I saw him clowning and just what this guy is getting cash apps, he's getting support because of this type of behavior. I was like, I'm sickened by it again, and I had to walk away from it.
Let me tell you something, Choctaw, and this is what I have to argue with people about. These motherfuckers will be like, oh, he do got some knowledge. That motherfucker don't got no knowledge. All right, y'all? Let me tell y'all first and foremost. That motherfucker know 2 key words, okay? Didn't even bother to learn what the key words mean, the comprehension behind them, how they connect to everything the fuck else. He take them 2 key words and flip them shits how the fuck he want, and there the fuck you go.
Right.
Okay? He don't have no real concept of motherfucking nothing.
He doesn't. And,
what anybody said.
and he's copied his style from many other YouTubers. And
not only YouTubers, he's taking all kinds of religions, faiths, and just bastardized them shits to know. And he can't pronounce half the things that he talk about properly, much less, man.
I mean, for real, I'm I won't put a name on my higher power, but if you're gonna call yourself a guy, how are you gonna suck your thumb? Really? I mean, it's so immature. And I saw him the other day.
He said he was an actor. He made them motherfuckers recite their real name, talking about we actors. I said, so the baby between Sheba and True is an actor too? You dumb fuck.
The whole thing is just ridiculous. He was on the live sucking on her. I want to say Nefru sucking on her breast, talking about he nursing.
Sucked on like, what? Oh Lord, child.
And I was like, yep, I'm out. I can't do this because let me say this: what you watch, what you ingest into your energy, that becomes you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I had to get away from so many people on YouTube. I'm like, oh hell no. Nope. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't be bothered with this person or that person. And then every now and then someone say, well, just see what they talking about. And it's like, yep, they on that same old bullshit. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I had to learn. Because I was, at one point when I was laid off, I was in every live. I was in every stream, up on many panels. And it was like, yo, that energy needs somewhere to go. So once you get up here and you screaming and you hollering and you cussing and you casting spells on people, and I'm sitting, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just sitting here and I'm listening. That affects me. So I got to the point where I was like, yo, I can only take so much of this. I'm out. I can't do it.
Well, you know what, then, Choctaw? I don't be on here a lot. So I don't mind spending a bunch of hours on here because y'all probably ain't going to see me again for another 4 and 5 fucking months anyway. Y'all probably going to see my motherfucking feet if you ever do see me again on the goddamn upload. You better take your asses over to the other side to see my ass. Okay? But here's my question. Do you consider yourself a troll, Auntie Choctaw?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the reason is because I have no intention on hurting anyone in their real life. I hurt the feelings on here if need be, and I won't even do that much. But I'm absolutely not a troll. I do not wish anyone death, jail, CPS visits, gun pulls. I don't wish any of that shit on any human being. So I am absolutely not a troll. Absolutely not. Now I want to ask you, Cherie, because I know that you'll speak freely wherever you go. I don't consider you a troll, but do you consider yourself a troll?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that the fuck out because some places I go, they be like, bitch, you a troll too. And then other places I go, they be like, you ain't no goddamn troll. Shut your ass up.
No.
I don't know enough sometimes. Sometimes I be coming in, I be like, what the fuck is going on here? Man, let me go take a dump or something, yo. What the fuck?
You know, and I'm gonna tell you something else. The only time you'll see me really speaking on a situation is one that I've been around for a long time. And the two people who stay in heat uh on this platform,
I'm a troll.
I was
I'm an idiot though. Go ahead.
well, like I say, you listen, it's impossible to catch everything. You'll never catch everything that goes on here. Ever. Because it's always something new. It's always a new beef. And a lot of times people have to remind you, like somebody said something about the lady who faked her death on April Fool's Day a couple years ago.
Motherfuckers that fake their death throughout these sections.
I'm just like, what? Like, I don't know. I missed that one. I don't know nothing about nobody faking they what? So it's like, yeah, I'll never be able to catch up with every single thing that goes on. I'll never. Mm-mm.
Listen, I've been told I'm a troll because I be typing certain things in the chat. I got a smart mouth. In real life.
Yeah, but that doesn't make you a troll. To me, trolling is when you are doing things that are intentionally set up to harm a person in real life. That's what trolling is to me.
Okay, I'll take that. It be some demon ass motherfuckers on here too.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. But what I've seen from trolling is somebody actually gets the short end of the stick in their real life, and that ain't something I want to see for any. I wouldn't want to see it for people who I know in real life. So I definitely wouldn't want to see it for people who are total strangers to me. And when I say total strangers, I'm not talking about like the little fam that we have. Like I see people in the chat. G5 always speak to her. Speak to Miss Witt, Jalea. Clem is a new friend of mine. Always speak to her. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, Brother Michael, everybody who is in this chat, I know. I know them by name, but I wouldn't want you to call me and be like, "Hey, Clem just got the CPS people just left their house." I'd be like, "What?
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Why?" You know what I'm saying? That's to me, that's wrong. That's all I can say about that. It's wrong. I can't get with that.
Listen, I've been through a lot in my real motherfucking life.
Exactly.
For me to be wasting energy on certain folk. Once you see who a motherfucker is, believe they ass or whatever the fuck they say about it.
Oh, but Cherie, you can't tell me like everybody else on this platform has always been trying to tell me you had to know about this, that, and the third. And I'm like, I did not.
Who had to know about what? What I look like a mind reader?
That's what I'm saying. Like
what
people were like,
I be on the back end all day, every day, like and what's
exactly. Exactly.
Everybody wants to control somebody's emotions. They want to control their reactions. They want to control how people move, right?
Right.
And people don't recognize that sometimes everybody fades away different. You understand me?
Right.
Like when it comes to a certain individual who you was talking about earlier, who you was alluding to earlier, right?
Yep.
I faded away from that individual a little bit before everybody realized I did, or shit hit the fan. I was already gone. Like, oops. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna just scooch over here because I already had my my experience. But I didn't have to go and be like, oh fuck them, let me dox them and extra shit.
Right.
Like, all right. Doopy doopy doo. I'm out.
Right.
And let me do that, because that's where that respect come in. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I have no respect for that person, but I do have respect for that person's life.
Facts.
And there's a difference. Okay.
And there was a time when you did have respect for that person, but once you realize they didn't have no respect for their motherfucking self.
Absolutely.
That's what changed everything. You heard?
So in real life, I don't owe you shit. That's how I look at it. But I would never wish this, that, and the third on my worst enemy. And that's just even if it is you at this time. You know what I'm saying?
Like
now you are my worst enemy on social media, at least. And I would never ask anybody to do things that will harm you or put you in a negative situation by my hand. I would never do it. Never.
Chalk Talk. You know who is my worst enemy on YouTube?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You know I do.
I'm not gonna give the answer y'all motherfuckers think I'm gonna give.
I think I know.
My worst enemy on YouTube is me.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
My worst enemy on YouTube is me. And my best friend on YouTube is motherfucking me too.
Okay. I can get with that.
In the whole wide world, my worst enemy is me. And in the whole wide world, my best friend should be me.
True. But don't look at yourself as the enemy, because guess what? On every single phone there's a back button that can direct you right out of this YouTube shit and back into reality.
Well, that's a motherfucking Finax.
Mm-hmm.
That's fact.
And I think sometimes we come here and we just want to know, like, I hope somebody else's life sucks today like my day did. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the first place I come. If I had a bad day at work, like, I want to hear somebody else's shit. I want to hear somebody else having a fucked up day. And then when I get enough, I'm like, oh, damn, your day really was fucked up. Matter of fact, your whole life is fucked up. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to go back to washing my dishes or making a meal. Like, you are really, really fucked up. Gives me more appreciation for somebody just getting on my nerves at work. You understand what I'm saying?
That's a fact. Certain people I just don't listen to at all, but certain people, you know, I get the filters. And they talk about these other folk, and I just be like, okay, that's enough filth for today. Let me go over
Right. But I think I have a better or I watch more of the historians. I think those are the people that I really like watching because, like I say, I can't see it all. I don't want to hear a lot of commentary and personal feelings on this, that, and the third. But a historian who will say, you know, I've been here since 2000 and whatever, 2014, 15, 16, whatever, before I really came into the sector. And they'll be like, and this person was fucked up then. And you was over there loving them. And I'm like, yeah, but we didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
You know what, Auntie Chucks? I might have to slightly disagree.
Okay.
Because Shitty Greg is a wonderful commentator.
He is, and I love Shitty Greg. I do. I love him. I just don't want to hear about Truth Freeman. Don't want to hear it.
Oh, shit. Listen, if you look on the bright side, Truth Freeman must motivate you to be a better person every day.
Truth Freeman, he is the first person that I've ever met that could be happy sitting under a rainbow right next to a pot of gold. He could be angry about that. I can't do him. I can't.
That motherfucker can out to the garage and run for the money, yo.
Listen, like sometimes there's a difference between negative and like negative. There's a difference, you know? I can't.
Well, see, listen, Auntie Choctaw, even he is a level of trauma bonding.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
It's just a lot of people, like most of us that are aware of it, even on a subconscious level, will usually have an aversion to it. Or there's always so often you want to challenge yourself to see how much of it you can handle without being affected. And then it becomes the aversion, like, all right, this is enough. I'm out.
But you also have to remember, a lot of us who built our relationships early on, we came together simply because a lot of us were empaths. So in a way, we kind of trauma bonded. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Not any specific
Yes.
trauma, but
Yes.
we came together through all of us being empaths.
It's a fact.
So you know, it kind of started in that capacity. So a lot of times when we see things that are just too super foul that we can't stomach, I can tell you the names that won't be there. They might be in the clouds, but they're not dropping down because they're not really on this type of time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I do look at I pay attention to where I am and who I'm around, and a lot of times if I see some friends, I'll drop down. Now the other day, I dropped down out of someone's bushes that I should not have been in to ask a question. I got cussed the fuck out.
Oh shit!
I did. Yeah, I got cussed the fuck out. I didn't appreciate that because I just asked the question, and it pissed me off. It did, because it's like, you talk a lot of shit these days. Now that we don't, you don't call and ask for this or that, but
We'll
all
see.
I'm gonna say, go ahead.
We'll see, Auntie Chalk. That even right there is a level of the bonding, because motherfuckers want to control your emotions. You know what I mean? And bait you into just jumping back and jumping up and jumping out. You feel me?
Yeah,
to get cussed out
true.
and all this. I mean,
That's
yeah,
true.
sometimes I dip into it too. I know somebody
Yeah.
wants to fucking something, and I just don't give a holy how fuck today.
Yeah, but even I believe, even if you and I believe us to be close, if you and I fell out today, YouTube wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
They've seen us rocking for too long.
Yeah.
For me to want people to notice that I don't fuck with her no more. I ain't gotta get in the chat and be like, well, I just don't fuck with Cherie no more. She a fucked up person, and she this, she that, she that. I don't have to do all of that.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
If I go my way and you go your way, I can even speak to you.
That's a fact.
I can even speak to you in the chat. But we just don't fuck with each other no more.
That's a fact.
That ain't everybody's business. Everybody don't need to know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what that is? Maturity.
Fact.
Everybody ain't got it.
And to go to what G5 just put in the chat, those are bullies.
Let's see.
Those not trolls no more. They bullies.
Yeah. Facts.
Those are bullies.
I'm sorry to everybody who came in. I didn't speak because I wasn't looking at the chat for a long time. But welcome everybody.
Oh, it's only one person in here. We good?
Okay. Whoever's in here, welcome to everyone.
Okay, some people might catch a replay or whatever.
Right. Welcome to all the replayers.
Okay.
And I want to tell you, if anybody is just coming in or just dropping down or whatever, Red Ball this back. This was a powerful build. This was different than it was so much more refreshing than all of the traffic that's been going on the YouTube streets. Very refreshing, very knowledgeable. I was able to press Michael Phillips into going live one of these days. I don't know when he's going to do it. Also, I think, I'm going to start sharing some things that I want the people to know. And they can either take it or leave it, but just like we were talking about, how to wash your GMO produce, people need to know that. They really do.
They do, but in order for them to know that, you got to get out of this sector because, that don't fly. That's why I wanted to go back to the trauma bonding and all that, because that seems to be the wave. That seems to be what get the views and the clicks and the whatever the case may be.
But again, no, Cherie, let me tell you, and Daughters of the Sea is famous for saying this. I will attract my tribe. I don't care where else you go, but Cherie gonna be there, Mike gonna be there, G5 will probably be there.
I'll be in the bushes if I don't jump out. Them motherfuckers will catch a replay.
Exactly. But I'm saying, but my tribe, those who can stand to hear my voice and listen to what I may have to say, those are the only ones I want to be there, because they can share my video or they could take this knowledge and pass it down to their kids. I'm not going to be doing this for no cash apps or no views. Although I do want 500 subscribers, because I want a community wall that I could beat the fuck up every day. Okay. But other than that, I only want people to know stuff.
Wall. Lord and Jesus.
Yes, I want to beat up a community wall. That's my goal for 2022. But I want people to know.
As bad as watching the goddamn live, I'll be like, oh shit!
I know. But the thing about it is, once you read, 4 or 5 posts in 20 minutes, then you know who fucked up in the head. That's all I got to say about that.
Oh my God! Like, sometimes you gotta ask yourself how to combat this shit. And it gets to the point where the motherfuckers can't be ignored. You know what I mean? Like, you again.
Yeah, that's true. But just look at how refreshing it was for somebody who hardly ever goes live. You haven't gone live in a long time. Someone who hardly ever drops down in the chat, depending on, I know you might see a lot, but a lot of chats, I know you might be there and ain't dropping down. You understand? So, it's that's just the way it is. That's just the way it works. And hey, if people want to come by, they come by. They share my video, or they talk about my video, or they say, hey, this is a good way to clean this, or this is a good way to cook this. But only my tribe is going to be interested. And a perfect example is, you look in different people's chats or different people's page, and the people who support them, that's their tribe. And a lot of times when if that's my opposition, their tribe, I don't fuck with them. I don't have to worry about them coming over to where I am. They don't have to worry about me hanging out where they hang out. That's their people, period. And I think that's how, that's what makes YouTube good.
I agree. And then sometimes you just gotta come back to the fuck shit and be like, this shit, oh my God, y'all are bugging.
You're right.
My pearls and run back up the mountaintop now, so I don't get sprayed with y'all shit.
Exactly.
When you come down and be like, good, get them motherfuckers, you got them good. All right, I'm going back up now.
Exactly. That's what a typical week is. Have you noticed that? Like, Monday or Tuesday might start out, well, I'll say Monday might start out really slow. We got to turn up Tuesday, so we go in there. And to be honest, I'm gonna tell you a secret, Cherie. I go to bed around 7 every day.
7 p.m.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I wake up like around 1 or 2 in the morning. So a lot of times people, they be like, I have to catch up. Like people like Henny Wise, Equalizer. These people are important in my life because
Yeah,
I
they're
will
great
fall asleep and
filters.
miss it. I will
Yeah,
fall
they're
asleep
great
and miss
filters.
it. They will get the key points, and I'll know exactly, how to tie this turn from yesterday, and then how to proceed for today. And then sometimes, Cherie, I'm not gonna lie, I sit online and I be like, what the fuck am I hearing? What
Listen,
am I really hearing? you
listen.
know?
I'm gonna say something real fast. Shout
Mm-hmm.
out to motherfucking Henny Wise, okay? Because when I be in
Mm-hmm.
the motherfucking chat and I do decide to talk, Henny Wise be like the voice of reason sometimes. I'll be like, yes, Henny Wise, preach that shit right there.
Yep.
Child,
Yeah. Yep.
amen on this motherfucker, what you saying right there. And they will listen
Yeah.
to you, they will not listen to me. Okay, you go ahead.
Listen, Pennywise, I'm telling you, Pennywise is everywhere and got her surveillance cameras sitting and waiting for the shits. She is with it. And let me tell you something. I without her ever saying a word, she gets the point across. She'll let you know this is what really happened last night. Now I don't give a fuck what that one, this one, that one say. This is how it went down. And
Okay.
she's right there. Yep. That's a fact.
Gosh, that shit, yo, Henny Wise be. If I don't know what the fuck going on, I go check Henny Wise and be like, okay, what the fuck going on? Okay, cool.
And I'm gonna tell you too, the Equalizer. There were a lot of things that the Equalizer covered that I was probably sitting right in the chat and heard and didn't even know what the hell I was listening to.
See, now, listen. Shout out to the Equalizer, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the topic of focus that the Equalizer focuses on,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be getting triggered and shit. I don't want to trauma bond and
No, you don't have to trauma bond.
I don't want to fucking even listen.
I get it. I get what you're saying. But you don't have to trauma bond because I just kept asking myself, like, how did I miss this? How did I miss that? She ain't missed the beat. Not a beat. You hear me? So it's like, damn, I was probably sitting right there, either listening and ignoring it, or I was sitting right there and didn't even know what the fuck I was listening to and was just supporting it anyway. You understand?
To the Equalizer, man. Oh man, I heard a couple. I'll be like, I gotta listen to this motherfucker. Shit.
But again, just like, let me just say this, just like the T puts it out there without giving any of their own commentary. These are the people that I like. Okay, I'm gonna let you say it in your own words. With your voice matching your mouth movement. This is what you said. This is what you did. I like those type of channels too.
Yeah, big up to that. Big up to that for real. Shout out to both of that.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to and Henny Wild be putting the little comments in there too and the little edits and shit. That should be
Yes. And let me tell you who else. Let me tell you who else is coming up on the edits and all of that.
Who's that?
Tracy with the T.
Oh,
she is fucking hilarious with her shit.
I'll be trying to catch up to them, and it'd be tough because the sector that I'm already in, they got they cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs people enough. So then I'll be going over there and I'll be trying to listen and I'll be like, man, listen, this is overkill on my brain. I need to smoke like 5 more spliffs and I ain't got that energy to I gotta wash dishes, eat food, and get ready for bed, all kind of extra shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta live a life here. So I'll be like, see, but I'll be trying Choctaw. But then I'll be catching up to the people over here. I'll be like, Lord have mercy. You know how many videos and lives that I wanted to do Choctaw? I wanted to do plenty. Okay. And I just be sitting there for like 10 minutes thinking about what the fuck. And I'll just be like, I can't. Let me just sit back and watch this shit. Watch just a little bit more of this shit and see what's going on.
Yeah.
I see some extra shit. And I'll be like, see, it's a good thing I did not say nothing.
Right. Right.
Jesus.
And that's exactly how you started this show out. You were saying that it's a good thing to be patient with your opinion. And you know what? You are so fucking right. You are so right. We can all jump out the window on this, that, and the third. But the only time lately that I've been jumping out the window and saying something is for things that I know that ain't how it went down. You know,
Okay.
and I'm like, I am appalled that you would even portray that this was a situation. That
Okay.
ain't how this went down. Like, you so full of shit, your eyes are brown. Facts.
And you know what? I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Shout out to Master Foodie Feed, www.masterfoodiefeed.com. Use
Yes.
code BAD for 15% off of every motherfucking thing. Okay?
Or use the code Choctaw to receive 15% off of anything store wide
Okay.
at www.masterfoodiefeed.com.
Okay. I don't care what nobody say. All right. Foodie Feed taught me how to do all this shit here.
Yeah.
Be more patient with the fucking word and watch these motherfuckers and just be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Now I taught myself the less I know, the better. All right, that's my own shit right there.
Right.
But patience and all that extra shit, and don't speak all the time and just be watching. She taught me that shit right now. Okay,
Right.
Shout out to
Right.
her.
But again, if you go back, Cherie, and you remember our core group, me, you, Michael, Fundi, Bruja, who else am I thinking of? There was a core group of us, and we
Eddie
were
God.
all
Eddie God.
Eddie God. Yep.
Old March. Them other folk too.
Who I'm thinking of somebody else, and I can't call her name right now.
Man.
But anyway, the point is, our core group, you know, we were everywhere together, and we would, you know, jump out on anybody, you know, that you know was wrong towards us, because we all knew that you know, this group had this core group of ours.
Well, I know which core group you talking about. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And we were all, you know,
Mm-hmm.
we were just all very cordial, and you know, we just knew each other's spirit and each other's vibe, and that's just how we got down. That's just what we did, you know. And of course, we've added people, you know, to our you know, our YouTube family or whatever, but our core group was that. We were a core group, period.
Ooh-wee. You learn a lot of things with time.
Facts.
You learn a lot about yourself. And if you evolve like you're supposed to evolve, right? You learn a lot of things about people.
Facts.
And sometimes those lessons come in a difficult way. Sometimes they come in a great way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
One thing is people mature, or as they're supposed to mature, they learn about hindsight and foresight. A mother and a father, regardless of age, have to learn about that for their child, correct? A lot of decisions that they make, the child may immediately think that's fucked up, but in the long run, when they grow up and they get their experience and they learn certain things, they realize, oh shit. You know, that's why you did that. And on the flip side, like you said, you be watching The Equalizer and you be like, oh shit, I was there and I ain't even peeped that. That's the
Right.
the other extreme end of what I'm talking about, you know.
Right. I wanted to say there were some names that I was leaving out. One of them is Indigo.
Yes.
She was another, and Awareness Awakening. She was another one. And
Yes.
it could be more that I'm missing, more that I'm Hudson and
Yes.
Rose. There was there were a few of us that we were a core group. And you anywhere you seen one, damn near you seen us all. You know. And a lot of times when most of us would leave a chat, the rest of them would leave too. So
Facts.
yeah, but we didn't run around like we weren't bullies or anything. That's just the way we rolled, I guess.
Well, I will say that to say this. If it's one thing that I learned from that experience there, is that if I can't manifest that for myself, there's no way that I could keep manifesting it for anybody else.
Facts.
So everybody has to go through the ebb and flow where they have to manifest that for themselves, and then they let it trickle here and there. And that don't mean that that don't mean that that it ain't there no more. You know what I'm saying? Or the vibe ain't strong no more. Me and Auntie Choctaw ain't speak for a hot minute. You see, the vibe is still there. You know what I'm saying? The energy is still there.
Exactly. Energy doesn't die. It doesn't die. It doesn't go away. And that's something that I've learned within the last few years. It doesn't go away.
No matter what it looks like on the surface, it doesn't exactly go away.
Exactly. And just to be clear, it wasn't that we didn't speak because of any issue. It's just we couldn't catch each other at the same time.
Exactly.
We always see each other, and we always show honor towards each other. That's what all of the people who I've named, and more, and there are more. But we different. And I hate to say that because everybody else is saying it. I'm saying it because when we see each other anywhere we are, we pay homage to each other because that's just how we are. You know what I mean?
Go back to the respect factor that Michael Phillips was talking about earlier.
Exactly. Well, sis, I must get up off of here because I have some vacuuming that I must do today so I can lay around and be lazy tomorrow.
Okay.
I gotta get up off of here and do my thing. But I want to tell you, thank you for having me. And thank you for opening this platform for something that was so refreshing. This was like a cold drink of water. It really was. And I'm glad to have been a part of it. I didn't have my notifications turned on for you prior to this stream, but I do now. I want to tell everybody else, look for more good things coming from Cherie. She's got good energy. She's got a lot of good knowledge, and somebody always from the spirit team is gonna be here. Always.
Okay.
So,
I love that.
Come through, and represent. Yes, and I want to encourage you by telling you, even though it's not a lot of people that were in the chat, people were in and out, but I'm going to tell you this: if you build it, they will come. Okay, so you just have to, whenever you can. I'm telling you this, and I need to do the same thing, and I eventually will. But hey, the spiritual ones, they will come. That's your tribe. That's what I gotta say about that. I love you, sis.
Love you too.
And I will see you around in these YouTube streets.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you will.
All right, sis. I'm out. Peace.
Okay, take care. Peace. Oh my God. Yes, I'm still here. I just came on here because I had a day off from Bigo. Pretty much. And I still gotta go over there and put in some hours. Yeah. This was mad cool. This was fresh as fuck. Thank y'all so much. And just to let y'all know, I was raised around West Indian parents who did not have their accent on 24/7. They were a different type of West Indian. They were the type of West Indians where if you spoke to them normally, they would sound a little bit British. But when they got upset, frustrated, confused, cracking a joke, that's when their accent came out. When they were among their people, that's when their accents came out. So I learned that from where I was at. Okay. And I could turn on many different dialects if I want to, if I need to, if I have to. So shout out to RE. Shout out to motherfucking RE, yo. Yo, shout out to RE. She got me at the end of her joke. Tell him Mr. Gip off. And shout out to Mr. Grip, okay? Mr. Grip, my people, I love your voice. Listen, I'm very respectful with what I do. Okay, shout out to Big Chief, and his shoulders, and his chest, and his elbow, and his neck. And yeah, shout out, yeah. All right. Why the fuck not? It's there to look at, god damn it. Just enjoy the fuck. What is wrong? I'm sorry. He's showing it. I don't be looking. Well, I'm not supposed to be looking. The fuck, just like, okay, when the y'all come on the when the when the broads come on the fucking panel, yo, shaking they shit. And no disrespect to my homegirls and shit. Y'all know who y'all is. I'm just saying broads because I'm trying to be cool and shit. When the broads come on shaking they shit, and y'all men is very happy and shit. Why the fuck I can't be happy when Big Chief and them come on and show a little something for me? Okay, I'm not asking him to show his ding-a-ling because I'm very respectful. I have imagination. I can imagine and pray. All right? That's all I need is the shoulder and the chest and maybe an elbow or something. You know what I'm saying? From far away, go work out or something. And leave the imagination to me. All right? That's all I'll be asking for. Because I'm not going to be seeing no motherfucking body. Okay? I'm not going to be physically touching no motherfucker. Okay? Thank you. It's not going to happen. So let's just be real. Okay? Let's just be real. All right? But yeah, shout out to IE. I'm putting my shit at the end. Oh, Lord, that shit. Anyway. I guess I got to be the fuck up out of here. Anywho. I guess I got to be up out of here. And maybe I'll come back. I don't fucking know. Should I care? Y'all? I guess. I don't know. Y'all see me in somebody chat. The fuck?